Welcome back to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I am Chris Witt, and with me today, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
Sensational. How about yourself?
If I was any better, I would be our next guest. Some of you may recently know him as the former city councilman of Altoona, Pennsylvania, the third largest city in the state of Pennsylvania. Is that right?
It's yet to be verified.
Yet to be verified, but it's a city in Pennsylvania for sure. City councilman. I had a whole thing here. He also is a graduate of the Shippensburg University.
Shippensburg.
It's
close.
Is there a G in it?
There's no G at the end. In Berg there is, but
there is
Shippen.
I got you.
Berg.
Shippensburg University. Cagle, give us a run. What the thing that he's probably most known for, though, is winning the Division III state baseball title. Batted third, played shortstop. No, he did play baseball though. What division was that? What did you play?
Well, in high school, college, I played Division II,
D2, Shippensburg
at
D2.
Shippensburg.
You also played for. We'll just say Penn State.
Penn State Altoona.
He played for
which
ball
is a
for
Commonwealth campus. I played 1 year for them.
1 year ball at Penn State. Realized he was too good. Dropped down to D2. To go play for Shippensburg. Is Pennsylvania? Is Penn State Altoona? Are they? What division are they?
3.
See, so you were too good.
I went up.
You were too good in your freshman year, and you said, you know what? I'm going back a little closer to home. Actually, closer to home. In Shippensburg. No, it wasn't. A little further away from home. But when you get that good, in order to get better competition, sometimes you got to leave the home state.
The further you go from home, the better the program.
100%.
It's what it is.
Yeah. So Shippensburg University was lucky enough to have Erik Cagle for 2 years, 3 years. How long were you there? 2 years.
Yeah.
So you played ball for 3 years.
Yeah.
Man, best years of your life, worst years of your life.
I would say one of the years of my life.
One of the years. I feel like it was 3.
I
feel like it was 3.
Like about 3 years of my life.
It was 3 years of your life.
It was a good experience.
Good experience. Erik, I tried to get on and look up your collegiate stats.
Yeah.
Not easy to find.
No, I was redshirted my first year, so didn't actually qualify for any stats. And then I did a lot of pinch running my second year.
Yeah.
So I stole some bases.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Ken, and he was a big catcher.
Yeah.
And you'd think he was a home run hitter, but he wasn't. He hit a lot of singles.
Little
and they'd put me on first. I'd steal second. And they'd be like, way to go. You stole second base. And then I'd score, and that'd be the end of it.
And then you sit on the bench and go, that's right.
Yeah.
I just come in and score runs. That's what I do. It's like Ricky Henderson.
I did hit a 95-mile-per-hour fastball one time. I got a single off of a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It was fast. The pitch was really fast.
Did you swing before it left his hand?
I don't remember. I just remember moving the bat, and I was surprised when it was going out to the outfield, and I'm like, I hit this guy.
Oh, it's awesome.
And you had to act like it was.
I've been there before.
Of course I did.
And little does anybody know that was Roger Clemens. Congratulations, man. That's big.
I was gonna say, hey, did you play against or with anybody that ended up making it at least, far along the line?
There was this guy named Andy Brooks, I think was his name.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever made it to the majors, but he got drafted by the Tigers, I think.
Okay.
He was the year before me at Shippensburg.
Did you ever try out for anybody?
I tried out for the Pirates,
I
the
remember
Pittsburgh
that.
Pirates.
Yep. And the Marlins. Wasn't it the Marlins?
The Marlins,
like that? Yeah.
I didn't get any looks from the Marlins.
You know what sucked though? Walt Weiss was the shortstop for the Marlins, so they knew. I mean, it'd been a tough one for you to get.
They came in there, were like, "Whoa, 5'2" player."
Yeah,
I was like a 2.5 tool player, and I was thinking, like, why don't I get a look? But the Pirates did. Of all the players in that tryout, they came and pulled me aside afterward, and they said, "Can we have your summer schedule?" This is before travel ball.
Sure,
and all that.
100%. Yep.
And I don't know if he ever showed up or not, but they said they were going to come watch me play, and
they could have been there. You never know. They could have. Erik, that summer, Erik hit 726, and he had one game where he went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Right.
It was the only 3 at bats that year he didn't get a hit. Had to be when they were there.
He had to be there. He's like, forget this guy. There was one summer game I pitched, and I gave up a game-winning home run. It could have been that game too.
Yeah, but they weren't looking at you for a pitcher.
No, that's true. That's true.
Erik was your prototypical Luis Quinones.
Oh,
Eric could play any
They call me
position on the
Omar.
field. Omar Vizquel.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
see, I mean, he had the hands of Omar Vizquel.
But I could play anywhere.
He went
Yeah.
to, was it the Zanesville
Grays
Grays
and the
tryout?
Chillicothe Paints.
Chillicothe. That's the
And,
one I'm thinking.
Chillicothe
Where they had
Paints, yeah.
they're just like, hey, we need you to catch.
I did.
I know.
I did. And the guy ripped my stinking shin up with his spikes and I bled all over the place.
oh my God.
And I'm like, could I at least get an injured reserve spot or
Yeah.
something like
I
that
feel like
for
I deserve
this?
an IR spot here.
Nope.
No.
No.
Man, that's I remember when
So I had to go back and
remember
work at
Dad
New
went
Pig.
with you. I remember Dad
He
went with you
did.
to the Chillicothe tryout.
We went to, I hope I'm not taking too much time, but we went
The whole
to,
point of this, so I'm going to tell you, the whole point of having you on the
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
is to talk to you and have you tell a story. So
so
the
your,
time is all
so
yours.
your
brother.
dad, Randy, met me in Zanesville. This was for the Zanesville Gray tryout.
Yes.
And we stayed in a hotel and we decided to go out to Red Lobster that night. I keep bumping his mic, but
No,
I'm sorry.
you're good.
That's what they call
it
the, one of
turned
the comedy
out-
specials.
And I'm like trying to make a team.
Yeah.
Professional baseball team. That's all I ever wanted was a professional baseball contract.
Mhm.
And I never got it to this day. Like one day even I'd want it, but I didn't get it. But
The
it's
Altoona
okay.
curve as a city councilman
Yeah.
and a former D2 collegiate
I did
athlete.
throw out a first pitch.
You
But
did throw out
anyway,
a
yeah. But
How
anyway,
was I
so
not
we're back
invited
to
to the first pitch?
Zanesville and we're staying overnight and we decided to do two things. We go to Red Lobster for a good meal.
Uh-huh.
Steak number one. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, and then the second thing was to go to a local Little League baseball game the night before.
Nice.
Okay. So we go to the Red Lobster and it turns out that it's prom night.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we were just sitting there just kind of watching all these young people come in their outfits. And one of the waitresses, I remember this just like yesterday, spilled something on one of the guys and he freaked out. He
Really?
treated her really bad. So your dad, the nice guy that he is, called her over and said, hey, don't even worry about that. You're doing a great job. And he left her a nice tip.
Good for him.
Yeah,
That's
he did.
cool.
Good for him.
And then we went to the Little League game and there was this one kid that stood out. And you can always, right?
Absolutely.
You watch Little League baseball
Mhm.
and there's one kid that stands out. And that's the best kid right there.
Yeah.
And you could tell, even the way the bat hit the ball, you could tell the sound, the way
Sounds
he was
different.
running the bases, he was banana peeling first base. He had it all. And we could tell that kid. I don't know whatever happened to the kid.
Sure.
Maybe he's doing Chillicothe Paints or something.
He might be playing for the Chillicothe Grays as we speak.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. Those were the two things that happened.
Nice.
And I didn't make the team.
Very cool.
Didn't make the team because you got your shin all cut up. Never got
did.
to hit. Well, they put you at catcher. You weren't.
I was a catch. I caught.
Well, you caught, but you weren't a
Yeah.
catcher.
No. I was okay.
Right, but you weren't a catcher. You were
Right.
middle.
I was
infielder,
middle
right?
infielder.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So as we speak and continue this conversation, we're going to get into the first.
How did you do that?
Just a little peel at the top, kind of like baseball cards. I peel everything like baseball cards.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
I got a story for you guys about baseball cards after all this.
No, let's do
Let's
this.
do
We'll
it.
do the baseball card story. Why we try the Reese's, which this week's
Oh,
Reese's is the white chocolate trees.
It's getting melted.
The white. I got more here. I got more. If you need another, do you want this one?
No, I got it.
I can teach
I
you how
got
to
it.
peel.
I did it.
wrapper
See,
out.
look.
There you go. All right. You don't have to be as careful. The corners aren't going to nick on the tree
As
like
careful.
a
As
pack of baseball cards.
my
So
bad.
Erik, the way we do this is every single week for the last 4 years we've had a different Reese's.
Okay.
Maybe not 4 years, but at
They
least a
make
year.
that many?
That's
A year,
it's
probably.
yeah,
Not even
it's
a year.
it's
really.
been close to a year. I
Okay.
bet.
Maybe.
It's been close to a year. Maybe
All
not
right.
a full year, but we've been doing it for a minimum of 6 months
Okay.
every week. It's a lot of Reese's things. I think we're somewhere around the number of 30, if I'm not mistaken.
I like Reese's.
Yeah.
A lot.
So 1 to 10.
We got to eat it.
Adam Schmidt just took his first bite.
Yeah.
Do I smell
What
it?
we usually do after Adam's first bite is we look at Adam and we say, Adam,
Mm.
first impressions.
These are the trees. They're smaller than the trees that you get. Like they give you the regular sized trees. So these are kind of mini ones. But I'm telling you, we always talk about the peanut butter to chocolate ratio in these things.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent in these, even though they're the miniature ones. Really, really good. I like the white chocolate. A little different than normal.
I was going to ask you, I feel like when I look at white chocolate and I eat it, it tastes different than chocolate.
Mhm.
But then sometimes I think, if I close my eyes, would I know the difference?
Mm-hmm.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Well, because I taste the
Mhm.
difference here for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Eric, first impressions from you?
Well, I took a bite, and the first thing I thought of was a zero bar.
Mm,
Do you ever have a zero bar? White candy bar.
that's the third candy bar you've come up with today, and we'll talk about the other two later on.
Mhm.
But that's the third candy bar that I've only heard of one of the three so far.
Zero bar. It's
What
like
do you
this
guys
ice
eat in
blue
Pennsylvania?
or white wrapper, and it's got a white chocolate on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing I thought of. But then it had a weird taste. I'm not gonna lie. It had a weird kind of synthetic type, not natural taste to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like chemically, like
a little bit
kind of.
to me. Yeah. So I mixed it together with the peanut butter on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's
Okay.
sad.
Do you want to go for a number two just in case?
Well, not yet.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to tell you the peanut butter ratio to the chocolate ratio for me. It's one of the key things that we look at on the podcast when we're rating the Reese's. And the peanut butter to chocolate is much better in this. We're big cup fans. Have you had the Reese's big cup?
Yeah.
Much more chocolate to peanut butter, or much more peanut butter
You
to
like the
chocolate
peanut
ratio.
butter more?
Oh,
I do
yeah.
too.
I mean,
don't
it's
know,
Reese's
it's a little
peanut
weird.
butter.
It was a little strange to me. That's all.
All right. So the
Not
white
natural.
chocolate was a little different,
Yeah.
but I didn't mind it.
Did you notice a little burning, like a burnt
I didn't.
taste to it at all?
I didn't.
Like maybe mine got burnt.
I got to tell you something though. Here's the deal. I may or may not be addicted to salt.
Oh.
Like literally just tap garlic salt in my hand and lick it out of my hand.
And by may or may not,
I am 100%. And you can ask anybody in my family, especially my wife. She has to yell at me when she sees me pulling some sort of seasoning salt out of the spice cabinet. That being said, I'm pretty sure that half of my taste buds are gone, if not more, from that. Because I don't get like subtle notes like that. I don't get the subtle burnt taste of the peanut butter, like the batch or the synthetic of the white chocolate. I feel like you might have to take my place on this podcast when we rate these Reese cups.
We have to send one to Pennsylvania.
All right, I'll send the Reese
I
cup
could go
out.
buy it.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean, I can send it to you, but it'll probably be better by the time you get it. You just go to the store.
Yeah.
All right, so let's rate them then. I'm gonna go. I think you've talked me down to a 9.5.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's high.
Oh, but here's the deal. It's still a Reese's. It's still a Reese's.
I'm gonna go 7.
There's very few that have got under a 9. There might be 2 that we've ever had that were under a 9.
Yeah. I'm going 7.
Most are in the 9.7 to 9.9 range.
Is it like, should I go to 9 and then go incrementally?
Absolutely not. It's yours.
Okay,
It's your ratio of rating. You can rate it however you want.
All right.
9.5, 7, and I'm about at a 9.5 as well.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I'm going there too.
Must be a
It's just the way we do it
regional
around here. Man.
taste.
It is regional taste.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, you eat Clark bars and what did you call that last thing you had?
a zero bar.
A zero bar in Mallow cups. From Altoona, Pennsylvania, a lot of people don't know, but the very famous Clark bar. I
Yeah,
think the Clark
right.
bar is famous.
It is.
Jack Clark, I believe, was at one point in time had a little sponsorship with them, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Roy Hodges did something in the right field wall. On the right field wall. He
Yeah.
was a sponsor for them.
Was
too,
he?
Yeah.
And then you also were talking about in Altoona, they make the Mallow cup.
The Mallow cup.
Which I wasn't 100% sure what that was until
Yeah.
you pulled it up. It's the yellow with it's a yellow bar with chocolate,
It's
two chocolate cups. Inside the cup though, marshmallowy stuff.
Marshmallow.
Disgusting.
Some people,
It's like
that's
a
a really
chocolate
famous one.
Peeps.
I saw somebody that had found that in Japan. They were on a trip to
Really?
Japan. They found a Clark bar and a Mallow cup.
So I like that you call it mallow because like I would call it a
Mallow.
mallow cup. Like, from Sandlot, he's like, first you take the mallow.
Yeah. Well, hey, let me ask you something. The great soccer player, I'm going to spell his name and then you tell me how you pronounce it.
Okay.
Pele just passed away.
Yeah.
How would you pronounce that?
I call him Pele.
Pele. What do you say?
Pele.
Did you notice on the break-in the other day?
I heard you talking about this the other day.
Pele.
Pele.
Pele passed away.
Yeah, that's just somebody that just doesn't know what they're talking
It was
about.
like,
I can't stand that.
I know.
I can't
like
stand
Perez or
especially when
Perez.
it's on.
Yeah.
So what was it breaking in on? Was it breaking in on like
Uh,
CNN or
no,
was
no,
it
no.
breaking
It was
in?
sports.
It was
a bowl game.
it was a bowl. So that's
It
what
was like the
irritates me.
Cheez-It Bowl.
That's
or
what
the-
irritates me. If you're
What's the one
doing
other one that was that day? Cheez-It and the not the Tax Slayer, but it was the one right before that.
the mower, the something mower
the
bowl.
Bad Boys
Bad
Pinstripe
Boy-
Bowl. The
yeah.
Bad Boy Mower Pinstripe
Yeah,
Bowl.
that's right, the mower bowl. That's
Filet.
it gets on my nerves
Yeah.
when people pronounce normal sports people, like very well known sports people's names wrong, and you're in
What-
the industry.
What's the emphasis? Where's the emphasis on what E?
On the
two-
first.
It's on the first.
I couldn't
Because
tell
if
you.
it was
Honestly, I
on the first,
couldn't
it
tell
would
you.
be Pay. Well, I don't know.
I thought it was maybe on the second, but now I'm
I mean, it's
rethinking that.
Pele. He's been
Second
Pele
guessing.
for.
I know.
Can I tell you something? When he died, I
Yeah.
thought he'd been dead for 20 years.
Yeah, I know.
No
So that's the
idea.
same with Barbara Walters. She passed away.
Yeah.
I thought she was dead. But do you know what movie he was in with Sylvester Stallone? This isn't a joke. This is real.
I know it's not.
Sylvester Stallone. Do you know this?
Mm-mm.
Pele or Pelé
Rocky
was
8.
no. He was in a movie with Sylvester Stallone and Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
And I think it was like 1981. Do
Okay.
You know what the movie was called?
I wasn't born yet.
No idea.
It was called Victory.
Victory.
It was
Oh.
about Nazi German national team, soccer team.
Okay.
And it was in Nazi occupied Paris, France.
Gotcha.
And they organized this game between the German national team and these Parisian superstars.
Mm-hmm.
And of all people, Sylvester Stallone was a soccer superstar on the same team.
You
as
know, the funny
Pele.
thing though is he's really small guy. Like
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone's only like 5'7", 5'6", or something like that.
Well,
He's not a big dude.
He fit in, and the whole deal was they were organizing this game so that they could escape at halftime.
Mm.
I won't ruin it. So in case you want to watch, actually, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Not a bad movie.
I thought-
Sports movie.
What was it called again?
Victory.
We've done the Mount Rushmore sports movies. Didn't make the cut though.
No, it wouldn't.
That is what do you call that? Pause for emphasis. Dramatic effect. The Malo bar.
Oh yeah. So Mallow and Clark, and it's a part of a company called Boyer Candy. Boyer Candy is they got a big white building in Altoona, and
Well, when you're the third biggest city in a very large state, it makes sense that you would have
Again, still
something
to be
like that.
verified.
still we have to verify those numbers because the latest census I don't think is in. But did you know also that Altoona was voted the safest weather city and severe weather city in the state of Pennsylvania?
In the state of
State of
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. It's
So-
nestled between
I was gonna say,
a
is it-
couple of different mountain ranges,
Yeah.
and it virtually no earthquakes. All right, no hurricanes, no tornadoes. There was a tornado in West Decatur one time, which is a suburb of
Ooh.
Altoona,
Okay.
and it's not a suburb. It's like 20 miles away, but it's kind of close to
That's okay. We can call
and,
that a suburb.
tornadoes, blizzards. Like we get 10 to 15 inches of snow once every year, but it's the safest weather city. So if you want someplace to live that's safe
That's the place to go.
from the weather, Altoona is where you might want to go.
No kidding. If I'm looking to move to a different city, a different state, I'm looking at stuff like that. I'm looking at what kind of wildlife is there. I don't want to deal with creatures. I mean,
No.
I'm looking at that
No
stuff. That's important.
Yetis.
So you live in Altoona.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about any kind of severe weather. Thank the Lord. So when when your mom and dad get 13 or 14 inches of snow, you don't get but 2 or 3.
We get about the same amount.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They live by Lake Grace.
So 12 or 13 inches of snow, y'all don't consider
That's not a big deal.
severe weather. I mean, that's severe weather, and like they closed the country of Cincinnati.
Once a
down.
year we get that, and we deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. So that being said, you are the manager of custodial, refuse recycling, and labor crew operations at the
Mhm.
Penn State University. Can
Yeah.
you say the before Penn State, or
No.
did Ohio State officially?
Even if they didn't copyright or trademark that,
You guys don't.
we
play
don't want
with
to
that.
have any.
You don't want to have nothing to do with it.
We're
As of
Penn State University.
you are.
In
okay.
fact, when you write Penn State University, if you write it, you can either write it one of two ways: the Pennsylvania State University or Penn State University. Those are the only two acceptable ways to write it. Not the Penn State University.
I have another question about Pennsylvania that just popped in my head as you were talking about specific ways to write.
Yeah.
The Pennsylvania University.
That's wrong.
Pennsylvania State University. I
right.
apologize. We're not talking about Penn here.
Right.
Right.
University of Pennsylvania.
So
that's a different school.
Right. So that being said, you're in charge of your crew operation. So you are in charge of the snow operation at Penn State.
I am what they call the snow marshal.
The snow marshal.
I actually have a badge.
I love every bit of that.
Wow.
I do.
So
if I could, I could send you a picture, and maybe on a future podcast you can show it.
I will 100%. I will definitely do that. Well, we're gonna get a picture of you. We used to have a picture sitting back here of our very first on studio guest, Bobby Edwards. We'll get one of those of you,
right.
And we'll put it back there with your badge. Cause I've taken everything down, and everything needs to get put back up at some point in time.
Okay.
As you can see, we have posters and everything behind you that never got put back up. So they're in between you and Adam. You won't be able to see it because it's a little crammed in the dungeon, right? You get into the so this is the Rum Dum Studios.
This is a nice studio.
It's Rum Dum Studios, but it looks bigger on camera than it does in here. So
if you had it too big, it would look cavernous.
It wouldn't be a dungeon. It would be a cavern. It's nicknamed the dungeon. Erik, I have a question. You have been a part of many things when you were on city council, such as legislative co-chair, which was for the entire state of Pennsylvania.
I was appointed by Mayor Nutter of the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I was part of a group of municipalities that lobbied for municipal legislation and tried to lobby against negative legislation against municipalities.
So that being said, what is your stance on being called a state or a commonwealth?
The state of Pennsylvania prefers Commonwealth.
I know they do.
Yeah.
I find this every 4 years, I think, or 2 years, I guess, when the elections come around, or as we get into these things, I hear the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
I think it has
the state of Ohio, the Commonwealth. There's a few of them out there. There's 3 or 4 of them that you hear during that. So are you pro Commonwealth? Because it throws me off.
I don't really care.
No,
we're a state. We're one of the 50 states.
But one of the 5 Commonwealths.
Yeah, the Commonwealth is fine. I think that's okay. We call the branch campuses. You can't say branch campuses really at Penn State because we have 24 of them, and they really like that. So they call them the Commonwealth campuses. So you have University Park, which is the main campus. Again, they don't like us to say that, but it is, and it's University Park, State College, Pennsylvania.
State College,
and then University Park is its own municipality. It's got its own zip code, 16802. And then Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, or Commonwealth campuses, are the other 24. Altoona, Erie, Allentown, York. Yeah.
Is Altoona is Penn State Altoona the largest?
No, that would be Harrisburg. There's a Penn State Harrisburg.
Yeah. Harrisburg. I feel like I've been through Harrisburg.
That's the capital of Pennsylvania.
I was going to say the 4th largest city, and
that's the fourth
largest.
And do you know what minor league baseball team plays in Harrisburg?
Altoona Curve.
I almost said yes. I was like, yep, you got that one right.
The Harrisburg Sand Gnats. No, that's not.
Well, listen, Harrisburg is where the state legislature takes place. So it's the Harrisburg something associated with
legislative branch. The bill.
Senators, the Harrisburg Senators. I think they're a nationals affiliate.
Are they?
Can you verify that?
We can verify.
We have the
100%. We have the producer. Well, the producer check it out real quick.
I'll check
so do you want another Reese's? Anybody want another Reese's? Harrisburg Senators.
Yeah, you checking it. Producer's checking that out.
The producer's going to check it out, and while he checks it out, Adam, you had something. Didn't you have something you were about to say a minute ago?
I don't want to mess the flow of.
There's no flow.
No, we need to get back on track.
We're on track.
Oh, we are.
This is on track.
So obviously you're a baseball guy, right?
Yes.
Played.
Yeah.
I'm sure you played your whole life. Played in college and everything. Were you a card collector?
I find this is troubling to me because I was.
Nationals.
There was,
Nationals. Just to
I
jump
was
in real
right.
quick.
I was
You were
right.
exactly correct.
Oh,
Double A
sorry.
affiliate.
So
Did I get that right?
I collected cards up through probably when I started going to college. And I don't know, I just kind of got into other stuff and kind of stopped. I have a baseball shaped box of cards in my trunk right now that probably would have like a 1983 Ryan Sandberg.
Ryan
Sandberg.
I feel like
Tony
Reinberg-
Gwynn.
I feel like
Reinberg. That
Reinberg
should have been
should
his
be something.
nickname.
No, I feel like that's a city. I feel like that should be a city in Pennsylvania. Everything's a berg. You got Shippensburg, you got Harrisburg, and you got Reinberg. Mechanicsburg. There you go.
Yeah, so
That's
I
fine.
did collect cards, but I haven't recently.
Okay, I got you. So, Chris and I also collected cards my whole childhood and everything. And then, like probably in high school, I got into other stuff and didn't collect them as much and that kind of thing. But as an adult, I've sort of picked it back up, not full speed here, but sometimes I still get the urge to get a pack of, really more than anything, get a box of cards and open 36 packs of cards. And I like the ones from the 80s and early 90s when we were growing up and collecting them. I just came from a Christmas party, family Christmas party before I came here.
Yeah.
We had a white elephant gift exchange.
Ooh.
Every year my uncle buys an old box of cards and puts them in. So if I don't open it, somebody else does.
And
I steal it.
These are unopened?
Unopened.
Oh my goodness.
Today I came away from this white elephant gift exchange with a box of 88 Topps baseball cards.
Ooh.
My cousin, who also was a huge baseball guy, he coaches now, he played in college, big card collector. We sat there and opened 36 packs right after that of 88 Topps baseball cards. Had the time of our lives. It was so cool.
Best card that came out.
I'm going to say this is going to be biased because he's my favorite non-red ever, Tony Gwynn.
Oh, love Tony Gwynn.
I mean, I got a bunch of really good cards.
Eric Davis?
I got an Eric Davis. He is my favorite player.
He is
my favorite player.
Yeah. So
we just become best friends.
just became best friends.
I would say he and Barry Larkin are probably tied for my favorite player, honestly.
That's pretty cool.
All right. So it was 1988 Topps, correct?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
So the other day, Eric came in town from Pennsylvania.
That was Alvin Davis.
And I was talking about how my dad goes, Chris, look this card up.
There's Alvin Davis with Brendan McKay on the back.
There you go. Yeah, I don't even know. Oh, no, it was Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Was?
No, it wasn't.
Well,
it was
that was
some
the card the night
Met.
before.
It was some Met.
So anyway, I go to, so that card's worth 30 cents, in case you're wondering, Adam. That 88
The
Topps
88
Tony Gwynn,
Gwynn?
30 cents.
It's worth way more than that to me.
Yes, it is. There's no doubt. Although the 88 Topps Benito Santiago Tony Gwynn, 2 cents to 10 cents. But I have.
Go ahead.
I have the Beckett app on my phone.
Yeah.
And
So do
he's like, "Are you? Oh my god!"
Oh,
He's giving me crazy.
Look
What do
up
you have? What's wrong with you?
Look up a Reinberg card.
Let me look up. I'm gonna look up
Look
an
up
81
Sam Reinberg.
Should I look up an 81 Reinberg? Let's see what an 81 Reinberg Topps has to offer for us. Do you want Topps, Fleer, Dunneris? Topps. All right, we'll go Topps.
83. I think isn't that his rookie year?
You want me to go 83?
Yeah,
I don't know
think
what
it
it
was
is.
83.
All right, let's go 83. I couldn't tell you what his rookie year is because I wasn't born at the moment in time.
He keeps telling me about these years he wasn't born, rubbing it in.
Yeah, 100%. So let's type in Sandberg. It's spelled something weird, isn't it?
Sandberg.
Yeah, it's not
I
B-U-R-G.
think it's B-E-R-G.
All right. So does anybody have a guess on what this
What's worth?
on the Rhino, the 83 Rhino is? And this is a rookie card, by the way.
1983.
1983. The card number is number 83.
Okay.
And
which doesn't help.
Reinberg. Can you spell his first name, Adam?
R-Y-N-E.
All right. Any guesses?
You guess, then I'll guess.
I'm gonna go. I don't know.
I'm
$3.
I'm gonna go with the highest number. Every time I do this, I always
All right.
go to the high number.
I'm going to $6.95.
It's $30.
$30.
Yes.
Dude, he's a Hall of Famer. Rookie cards are
Yeah.
always going to
Rookie
be
cards.
much better.
What about a Pete Rose rookie?
We're changing this. We're changing this podcast. I'm totally down for it. By the way,
Pete
to
Rose.
look up the Beckett.
Okay, Pete Rose, counterfeit rookie.
What
Wow.
is? Yeah, give me a year and everything.
63, right?
63?
Probably somewhere around there.
Okay.
It's a counterfeit.
It's a counterfeit. What makes it counterfeit?
It says on the back, counterfeit. It's stamped counterfeit.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it Tops, Fleer, or Bazooka?
Well, probably Tops. I'll look it up.
I'm
Let's get the producer. Producer number 2 can look that up for us.
So there's no Pete. There is a Pete Rose rookie card. This is the one where he's on with Pedro Gonzalez, Kevin McCullough, Always. That card is worth $4,000.
Okay.
Whoa.
So I have the weirdest card you're ever gonna see. I have a Pete Rose
$1,500 on the low side.
counterfeit rookie.
That's the one right there.
Okay.
$1,000 to $4,000.
Signed by Pete Rose.
It is worth only as much as his autograph. As soon as you put a pen on that,
Yeah,
that
but
card is no longer worth what the
Oh.
card is, unless it is an insert, which now they have actual autographed inserts, and that
See,
they rank those.
that's what it looks like right there. It says
It
counterfeit.
has counterfeit on that. How
It's-
about
yeah,
that? That's
yeah.
crazy. So
Yeah.
if you get an insert now, like Topps has relics or autographs, you get one in every box. And if you get an autograph card in there, it's going to say one of however many they printed
Okay.
with the autograph. That makes that card then worth a little bit more. But if you go and get an old card signed by somebody,
Yeah.
that card becomes worthless. It's the autograph
that
is
right?
what
It's
is worth
just
something.
the autograph.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you defaced the card.
All right.
When Pete's autograph, he signs zillions
It's
of those.
He's-
Pete's
he's
autograph.
valuing
Pete's
his
autograph is worth about
He
10
charged
bucks.
me
Worth,
$20 for
yeah.
an autograph like 25 years ago.
yeah, you go down to
In
Vegas.
Kentucky.
You go to Vegas, you go back behind the little screen. He's sitting back there by himself. If you're a Cincinnati guy, he'll sit and talk to you because there's usually not a line to get, and he'll sit and bullcrap with you for a while.
So I have I have 3 pictures with baseball players. With my
We're gonna get into that.
I have 3 pictures with baseball players. I have one with Erik Davis.
Mm.
Went to Cooperstown for Barry Larkin's induction ceremony.
I was there
Nice.
too.
Yep, I was
Nice.
there.
And then the second picture I have is, but then that was the most recent. But then the first one I have is Pete Rose at Union Terminal in this Phillies jersey.
In
His Phillies jersey.
How awesome is that?
And we were
He
there.
would have been playing for the Philly. How old
He
were
was.
you? Yeah.
I was little, and we were there, and my dad was taking a picture, and I was in the picture, and my mom was standing there in awe, and he said, "Are you gonna get out of the way, lady?" That's what he said to my mom.
That sounds
So
like
I
Pete.
got my picture with Pete Rose, and then my other picture I have
greatest story of all time.
Barry Bonds.
I've heard
Rookie
this story.
year.
I have
Rookie
3
year.
pictures.
Of
Barry
Hall-
Bonds,
almost Hall
Pete
of Famers.
Rose,
Two guys that should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So, and one guy who is a
Is in
a
my
Hall of
Hall of
Famer
Fame.
Yeah.
in our book. One of the greatest athletes I think to ever play a game.
Yeah.
Is Erik Davis. So Barry Bonds, rookie year. Let's hear. So rookie year. So this is a young Barry Bonds,
Very
which
young.
makes you
and not very bulked up.
no.
at that point.
Well, we all know that we all know the skinny Pittsburgh years.
Yep.
So still incredible bat speed. Still to this day, I say has the greatest eye in baseball history.
Yeah.
That being said, Erik, you get a picture with him. Was it under? It was under
It was
the
under
stadium.
the stadium waiting for players to come out. I was with your dad, like I was always with your dad.
Mhm.
And we waited for him to come out. And I said I wanted to see this player, wait for him. And I thought he was gone. Your dad's like, let's wait. And then he comes out, the last player out, in this pair of white, really like cool white pants and a shirt. And I said, can I
It
get
was
my
before
picture?
Labor Day, so he
Yeah.
can do that.
It was before Labor Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to be the schmuck cotton white pants after Labor Day.
No.
So-
we don't do that.
He
I keep my white linen pants. Once May, September, whatever the end of September is, and white linen.
that's like summer
get put
shanty.
away.
You can't drink a summer shanty after Labor Day.
That's exactly right.
So yeah, we got my picture taken with him, and I couldn't believe it. He was meeting some lady named Terry.
Yeah.
I don't know if Terry's watching. Maybe she could make a comment about it.
Maybe
but
she remembers young Erik
Probably
John.
watching. She's probably
she's probably watching.
I mean, this
And
there's millions and millions of people that view this podcast.
And I
every
got
week,
my
so.
picture taken with Barry Bonds. And then the
Rookie
next
of the
year,
year.
I had
Rookie
an
of the
8.5
year.
by 11 or whatever it was, printed out, ready to go. Same spot. 1 year later, no access.
No
Complete entourage. I mean, he got into his Nissan Maxima. Into a Nissan Maxima. And he had a chain like down here. It was crazy.
Yep.
He was untouchable at that point.
Untouchable.
Dangly
I
cross.
love it.
Unapproachable. And
Yeah, by
untouchable.
then the cross earring was probably in by the second
Yeah.
year.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's right. I
Yeah,
forgot about that.
it's the greatest.
Yeah.
That was like the Michael Jordan small hoop
Yeah.
that became so big there after about his 6th or 7th year in the league.
So hold on. So what you were talking about baseball cards, and I cut you off.
So he opened up.
No, yeah, it was just that.
Oh,
yeah.
you opened the
Yeah,
cards up.
opened
That's
the
right.
cards up right away.
That
It
is
was so much
So at my house, my nephew is huge into baseball cards, but he's all about the inserts, right? He wants the inserts, big money cards. Really nice kid. This kid got a list of every card from the 76 tops. 76 was it? 72? I can't remember, that my dad didn't have. So of 500 cards, my dad's missing like 60 of these cards. He's got a list and he takes them into these two or three different card shops every couple weeks. He goes in there just to see if anybody had came in and like sold them a bunch of cards, and they'll go through a bunch of stuff every now and then, and every once in a while they'll pop a couple 30-cent cards out, and there's some $150 $200 cards in there that he bought like one $40 card for him, but there's some big one names that he doesn't have yet. Anyway, he's huge into them. My son loves all the new players, so he loves opening the packs of cards just so he can go, oh my gosh, I got a Vladdy, I got a Tatis, I got whoever, Shohei, Trout. So he loves all that. So Parker we'll open up all Parker's bait. We'll get a box of cards and open them up, and they'll be sitting there, and I'll be like, hey bud, do you want to start putting them into the book, or you want me to sort them out for you? I can organize them if you want, and then I'll put them in there if you don't want to do it. And he's like, okay, thanks, Dad. And he gets up and walks away, and I become in heaven. I am now an 8-year-old kid sitting at my kitchen table / dining room table on Duber. Dad would just randomly bring a box of cards home, and we'd just sit there on a Friday night and open baseball cards all night.
I haven't
Sort
done
them
that in
out.
a long time.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's exactly how I feel. There's like a jolt of joy when I'm opening those old packs.
Yep.
Just I don't care who's in there, really. I just, I mean, I get excited about, oh my God, there's Tony Gwynn, there's an Eric Davis.
Yep.
But you're like, oh my God, this was my childhood. This is what I did. And you just feel like it's that feeling opening those old wax packs that every pack had a stick of crunchy gum in there still.
Oh yeah.
I always felt
That's the best
obligated
part.
to eat the gum.
Did you eat any of the gum?
No, but my cousin ate like 6 pieces.
I always felt
He
obligated.
ate 6 pieces of the
It just
gum
would crack.
yesterday.
Today.
This dude just ate 1986 gum today. Yesterday.
Well, that's
1988
okay. I
gum.
think that's all right. You kind of feel obligated. It cracks
Isn't
like
it just like powder?
No, it's hard. It cracks like ceramic, like it's ceramic at that point.
Yeah. And then when you put it in your mouth, it
wonder
just
if you
turns to
could-
powder or
Yeah,
whatever.
can you just sharpen? I wonder if you could sharpen it.
It's not as bad as those white Christmas trees. I can tell you that much.
Oh man! Holy cow! I've had 3 of these things already now.
All right, maybe let me try another one.
All right,
We'll see if they
get you
get any
another
better.
one. Let's see if you got another
All
burnt
right.
batch. never had a burnt batch of Christmas trees, but you never know. You never know. Yes. So let's see. So we went over the illustrious baseball career. Which how many Hall of Fames are you in?
I don't know. I mean, I'm probably 3 or 4 at least. The Huntington Little League Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Where I played for the Expos.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah, we were runners up in the championship. We played.
Can I ask what happened? How was Eric on the team that did not win the championship game?
Pitching.
Pitching. Kill you.
We had.
It'll kill you.
Listen, I'm not.
Were you on a pitch
I
count?
am not. No.
I
Are
know.
you kidding me?
We weren't on pitch counts when I
Listen,
was little.
When I played baseball, when I played Little League, and there was a rain out, there wasn't a rain out. You know why? They poured gasoline on the pitcher's
then
mound and lit
out.
it on
Yep.
fire.
To dry it out. It's not a joke.
That is not a
Mhm.
joke. I remember like sitting in the dugout feeling, wow, this is nice and toasty while it's burning. So no pitch counts. And I think my 12-year-old year, we were 17-1 in the regular season,
Yeah.
and I was 14-0 as the pitcher.
Yep.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
sounds right. I'm surprised you
So
didn't pitch every
I
single
couldn't
game.
lift my arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had no pitching.
Yeah.
But in that one, and then when I made it to the Moose, which was the Moose Lodge
Yes.
in
That's like middle school, right?
Teener League,
Okay.
13-15.
Middle school.
We won the championship when I was 15.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
we won
was
the
that sophomore
championship.
year, freshman, sophomore year?
Sophomore, I think,
Sophomore
because I
year.
graduated when I was 17.
Okay, so you're young
Yeah.
buck.
And then, of course, all the all stars in there in between. And then
Yeah,
we played
Run out of room for all the
played
patches.
high school Huntington Bearcats.
That was the name. That was you
The
guys were the
Bearcats.
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 So can I tell you it's still I'm pretty sure I've got 2 totes down here in the laundry room that came from mom and dad's house. So it's got all my trophies, all the things I used to have sitting all around my room and hanging up, all the things that meant something to me. I 99.999% sure that back in one of those totes is the Shippensburg University hat that cousin Erik gave me when I was a kid.
No
I thought it
way.
was the coolest thing in the entire world. He
Fitted.
was probably like, yeah, oh, it's fitted.
Fitted.
Not a new era, but it was fitted.
Fitted.
It was fitted. It is the old school fitted.
Hey, I got breaking news.
I may have cut the back so I could continue to wear it.
Really?
Yeah.
I have breaking news.
Did you get another burnt batch?
This one's not burnt.
Oh, nice.
I might go up to an 8.
Oh, go ahead and jot
Like
that
a
bad
market.
boy down there.
7/8.
That's going in the Bible. Once it gets into the purple notebook, that's
Yeah.
the Bible of the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. It's not exactly written in stone, but once the record button is turned off, it's written in stone.
Okay. So how are we on time?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, we're on. How are you on time?
I'm the guest. I'm like
Yeah.
checking the time.
How are you?
All right, how are we doing on time?
How are you on time?
I
You
all
got
the
time
in the
to
world.
do some
I just
picks?
have to be at Lot B at Paycor tomorrow by 4:30 p.m.
4:30 p.m.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good.
All
we
right,
can we can make sure that happens for the. Speaking of the Bengals game, Monday night, tomorrow night. By the time this thing gets out on all the different podcast platforms and YouTube and everything else, you can get it on. That game will more than likely either be going on or it'll be over or
speaking
whatever.
of-
So we are going to me and Adam pick 3 games every week. Last week was a cancellation of weeks for the Nosebleed Sports Podcast because we had some internet issue, some kind of hacking issues, if you will, in the Witt household, so it didn't go down. So that being said, we are going to we pick 3 games every week. Adam is going to tell us where we stand after 2 weeks ago, which was week 16.
Oh boy.
How do we do?
I went 1-3
Ooh.
week 16.
Okay.
You went 2-1, of course.
That's what we're talking about.
And
baby.
Parker Witt went 1-2.
He went 1 and 2.
Yeah, he
Poor
did.
old man. So he's as good as you at
Wait,
this.
why did I say 1-3? We only picked 3 games.
We
I'm
picked-
1-2.
You went 1 and 2. I got what I was catching what you're spitting out.
I don't know. Maybe it was just such a
I gave him an extra game,
yeah.
trying to give him a chance to come back.
Here's the bad part. That makes me 17-25 on the year,
Yeah.
and you're 24-18.
24
I mean, I'm
and
just
18,
kidding.
baby. Over
Holy
500. We're making
matter
money.
of fact,
Baby.
way better than
We're
any of those
making
guys
money,
on-
baby.
on,
As
like,
long as we're over
Terry
500.
Bradshaw.
Yeah.
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw.
I'm looking at the Steelers score. Do you know what the score was?
No, I don't.
Is that something you're not allowed to say right now?
100%. There's no, yeah, we're fine.
This is good news for the Bengals.
Okay.
The Steelers beat the Ravens 16-13.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. Does that lock up?
Nice.
Is that
No,
official?
Does
No.
not.
We still have to win.
We have to win
We have
or
to
tie.
win. We just have to win a game
Okay, or tie.
or tie because we've already
Okay.
beat them once.
what I
So
read.
that would split that tiebreaker. They just lost another AFC.
No, we lost to the Ravens.
Did we lose to the Ravens?
Yeah,
Yeah, you got the list.
probably.
Yeah, we lost to the Ravens. Adam would know this, or Erik would know this better
Erik would know this
than
better.
any of us. So we've got a bet to it. So I'm going to send you the link when our Bengals insider comes on
Okay.
at the end of the year and has to sing a cappella because that's the bet when we make. I've had to do it. Adam's had to do it. This guy went to college as a vocalist in music And
Mhm.
we're just trying to get him to sing on the podcast.
He's like a classically trained singer.
yes.
Wow.
And we can't get him to sing.
Yeah.
He's also in an R&B group.
Oh my goodness.
Like legit, he sang the national anthem at a Bengals game. He's done it all.
Jeez.
Andre Edwards at Andre Edwards 03, right? 06. I do that every time. At Andre Edwards 06 on the tweet box. Super funny. You got to catch a follow on this dude. Great follow. Bengals follow. A little Bearcat action, but that's all right. We don't.
Huntington.
He also Huntington.
Huntington Bearcat.
He's got a little Huntington Bearcat in it.
1917.
That being said-
Ravens beat the Bengals earlier this
1970. That's right. That was another stupid. We didn't kick a field goal or something like that in the first half. I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't
year. I
matter.
think Leo Collins didn't know the play.
That might have been that game too. Yeah. So I'm winning. I'm up quite a bit. I don't think you can beat me,
I can't.
but let's just pick them anyway.
Okay.
So we go by we always go by the spread on ESPN. Actually, there may not be a spread for next week yet. There's probably
There
not
isn't.
going to be.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, there is.
Is there for next week? They already got some spreads up. So this is based off the
Bengals-
spread
No spread for Bengals.
the Sunday, the week before this is coming out. So you got to remember what spread we're picking this off on. It could definitely change by the time you put your picks in. That being said, Adam Schmidt, you're in the L bracket, bro. Actually, you know what? I feel like we should let Cagle go first.
Yep.
All right.
Eric Cagle, as a big Bengals fan, you can pick whatever you want. We go 3 games against the spread.
Oh, 3 games.
3 games.
You don't tell me the games.
No, we don't do any of that. I'll let you pick. I want you to. You want to take a second to look at it?
You know the worst part about this
What's that?
is this week is probably the worst week.
Yeah, because you don't know who's
Because-
playing.
Well,
who's not.
Right. You don't know who locked up, who didn't lock
Mhm.
up. You don't know who's sitting.
So
The one game that I do think is going to matter that I think they're going to play
that's what you got to do is you got to find the
is
games that matter.
the Eagles and Giants,
Eagles and Giants
because I think the Eagles need to win to get to
lock
to
up
lock
home
up
field.
home. Yeah.
Did the Vikings win this week?
No, they got crushed.
They
by
got
Green
beat
Bay.
again.
Yeah.
So
got
then they
crushed.
should have locked up home field then, shouldn't they?
No, that's the Cowboys. I think they're worried about.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
They have
yeah,
4
yeah.
losses.
So the Cowboys won.
Yeah, they're 12-4, and the Eagles are 13-3.
Yes.
So I'm gonna. I mean,
Oh, that's got division implications.
but
on
see,
it.
here's the problem: the Eagles. The spread is 13.5 against the
Hey, it's a big
Giants.
spread, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Especially
Big spread.
if Jalen Hurts isn't playing. You know, like if he's
Mhm.
injured.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna play him.
All right.
But I don't know. Let me look at this a little bit more.
Okay, take a look.
Let's see. The Bears and the Vikings. Minnesota's -1. The Bears 3-13. Holy moly! All right, I'm gonna have to pick the Vikings over the Bears for
You're-
one of my games
Taking the Vikings. All right, Vikings
Right.
over the Bears.
because they
Even though the
still have a
Vikings
shot.
are now on a 2-game losing streak.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, I think they're gonna wake up.
All right, wake them up.
Let's see.
Kirk Cousins. You like that? You like that?
See, I gotta do
Get you a little
underneath
scratch.
roundabout
We're a little,
scratch
we're a little
action.
taut,
Yeah.
taut like a toy, taut like a toy game here.
All right, so did I pick a game already?
Yeah, you did. You
Oh.
took the Vikings over the Bears
Oh,
to
let's
start
see what
this
else.
thing off. I like to talk them out as I go through it because I don't look anything up as I'm doing it.
Dallas
So then you go down, you're like
-6.
Cowboys 12-4. They still need to win that
They
game.
do, but they're -6. But I mean, what's Carson Wentz gonna do, or what's his name?
Carson Wentz didn't even play today, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
Uh-oh, severe weather alert for Covedale.
Oh no, not in
Yeah,
Covedale.
Yeah, let's
Ooh,
see what
wow.
it is. Is this
Not-
Covedale?
We are not in Covedale. We're in Delhi.
Not the safest weather city in.
No, obviously
Ohio, for
Cincinnati
sure,
is
Covedale.
not the Altoona of Ohio.
When
Pennsylvania.
I was growing up in Cincinnati, a tornado hit my apartment building.
Did it
Oh,
really?
Yeah,
Were you in
Westwood,
it?
Westwood Northern Boulevard.
Oh,
Hey.
that was a set.
I had an apartment on Westwood.
What was
Yeah.
that? 78,
Come on.
77?
No, that
I thought it was.
No, it was 79.
So I'm sorry. I knew there was a tornado that ran through then because it went all the
And
way
my
down
dad,
Bricktown
you know how my dad celebrated
and
by throwing jumping jack firecrackers out. I had a number 32 football jersey that I had worn, that I wore everywhere. it was a generic 32.
Yeah, just a big 3-2.
And my mom got it up at the Kmart's.
Yep.
All right. So
blue light special. Probably.
So
on the,
I had one,
probably
and it
got
had
enough
holes.
layaway.
It had the mesh, like the
Yeah.
mesh all through it. Well, these jumping jack firecrackers, they pop back. They burn a hole through my jersey. All right, and they burn my inner side of my elbow in the inside there.
Was it your throwing arm?
Yes,
Oh,
but it was off season.
Right.
But because they didn't have travel ball or anything like that. Right
You weren't playing. Yeah, I know. I'm
So-
like these coaches. These coaches today, like
Yeah.
what they do to these kids is ridiculous. I mean, you're like 3 months off for the entire year,
Not even
and it's
that.
not even together.
It's
It's
not
like a
even that.
month here and then 2 months here.
You should hear about this Jaeger team that does stuff like that. But they burn a hole through my jersey and they had to throw it away. And I couldn't bend my arm for 2 weeks because I had this big scab and stuff. But I was more worried about my number 32 jersey.
Absolutely. You know, I got a number 32.
What I was telling
I got
you
a
the
number 32, safest.
Alternator.
Safest, yeah. So I had a number 32 Bengals jersey with Kajana Carter on the back.
Yeah,
Obviously,
number one pick.
because Kajana Carter was a Penn State grad and went and actually sold some supplies to Erik back in the day when he was at Penn State. But
Kajana, if you're watching this, I'm sorry that didn't work out.
me too.
Mhm.
I'm sorry too, because we could be talking to Kajana
Wasn't it
Carter
like
right now.
the second play of the year or something like that. When he
It was in the
Look,
preseason.
You want to see? Let's see if I
Went
still
towards
have his
ACL.
phone in my. Oh nope, I don't.
He took Kajana.
Took
Man,
it.
was it that bad that he took Kajana out? I don't take anybody out of my phone.
Well, I got a new phone.
Your contacts don't transfer over?
I don't know. That was a long time.
Who's the
ago.
most
What
famous
happened?
person you have in your contacts? If you're allowed to say.
Oh, you got whoever the almighty is at Penn State, right?
My
Isn't he
mom.
your boss?
Your
Oh,
mom.
your mom.
Very sweet.
Shout out to Betsy Pierce, nicest
Followed
lady.
by my wife.
Okay, let's
There you
go.
go.
Come on.
All right.
The most who's the biggest? Who's the biggest? What's the word? What's the word?
Dog.
Celebrity, famous celebrity you got in there.
I don't really have any celebrities in here.
Yeah, there might be one or two.
Advanced Center for Surgery.
How's that? How's your back doing
Doctor-
these days,
That's
bub?
all right. That's why if you see me scooching around,
Is
on
it the
s- on
third or
thing-
fourth? Yeah, because we don't have the most
I'm like,
comfortable chairs. I mean, I did get a pad on it though. I did
Yeah,
get
no,
you the
it's
padded
good.
ones. I've
It's
got
good,
regular
yeah.
aluminers in there. So anyway, but you probably got. I mean, you're the you're the what, fifth or sixth
I have the
highest ranking
I have
official
the
at Penn State.
athletic director for Penn State.
There you
His
go.
number in here.
What are you like?
Do you ever-
How far? If the president, something happened terrible,
Yeah.
how many people would have to get knocked down
Five.
before sixth highest person at Penn
Look at
State?
that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I
That's
mean,
what we got here.
It goes all different directions.
I'm sure it does, but
Like, did
you're
you
on
ever
the,
see-
you're on the fifth tier.
Did you ever see the video where they pour the mercury down into the ant colony and then they dig it up and then they spray it off and they show the ant the hot natural highways from all the ants
Oh,
that
okay. No,
dig through the earth.
Mm.
That's kind of like that at Penn State.
I got you.
Like just because I'm 5 down doesn't mean that it's a very hierarchical thing. It's like an ant colony.
I got you. So
Alright.
it's got many
Like if
branches
that
on the
whole
tree.
side of the ant colony got blown up, then this side, yeah, okay, 5 down.
Yeah, 5 down.
Hmm.
Sure. Exactly. So who's your next pick?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So as you look for that, your next pick. So I got a Kajana Carter jersey because Erik went to Penn
Oh,
State
yeah.
and he was the biggest Kajana Carter guy.
I was a
'cause-
huge fan of
and
Kajana Carter.
he went there. So then I took that 32 jersey after Kajana ripped his whole knee apart, put duct tape on the back of it, and I've had on the back of
Oh.
that, I've written R. Johnson, Rudy Johnson.
Oh
I've
my
had Cedric
goodness.
Benson on the back of that thing. I've had Green Ellis on the back of that thing. It's gone now. Actually, I didn't have Green Ellis. I think I was gone by the time Green Ellis got there. But I had every other running back after Rudy Johnson was number 32.
32.
So I just kept replacing. I just put duct tape on the back of it and put whoever's name I wanted. Where
I
is
don't
that
like any
jersey?
of these picks. None of these are
It's
any
never
good.
easy. I mean, Vegas, they're good at their job. Those guys in Vegas are good at their job.
I do not like this at all.
All right, I'm gonna start.
I'll tell
off.
you what. I'll take the Buccaneers and Falcons. I'll take the Bucks.
The Bucks clinched the South today.
The Falcons are -7.5.
The Bucks clinched the South today. They're playing for nothing. They've got the worst. They will officially have the worst playoff record of any
They're
team that
8-8.
makes the playoffs.
They're 8-8.
They have nothing to win for. They have nothing that can get them anything better than what they are.
I'll still go with the Bucks.
All right. So you think Brady's going to play?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Okay.
What do you have? 432 today?
It was insane. They were getting beat pretty good. He did another
Chargers
Tom
won.
Brady.
They're 10-6. The Lions and the Packers is going to be a great game. The Packers they're favored by 4.5. The Colts and the Texans. Oh boy,
Hey.
that's terrible. The Dolphins and the Jets. Let me go with that game. The Dolphins and the Jets. The Dolphins by 3. I'm going to pick the Jets.
Dolphins still have a little something to play for.
Yeah, but I'm picking the Jets. Okay, so I got Jets, Bucks, and I don't know who else it is.
Vikings. All right. So I'll get right back into the backside of that thing. 13-3 Chiefs going up against the 6-10 Raiders. I think the Kansas City is 9.5-point favorites here. Will they officially? So the Bills won. Oh, the Bills play tomorrow. That could be. So I'm not messing with that game because that number 1 seed still up for grabs.
That's exactly right.
And the Bengals are a game back on that. So let's go Bengals Ravens because I can't do it because there's no line on it yet. So I like games that mean something or games that don't. So let's go to the Chargers. I'll go Chargers, Broncos, 3.5. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think the Broncos are absolutely terrible. I'll take the Chargers laying the 3.5 in Denver.
There's crazy knuckleheads.
Oh, you a crazy knucklehead. You a turkey boy.
Terrible, crazy knucklehead, terrible.
Thanks, Chuck.
All right. And then
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Rams Seahawks. I like this game here. Seahawks 6.5-point favorites.
Rams.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the Seahawks because the Seahawks are playing for something. The Rams aren't. Those are the games I like. We're still at the end of the year. This is gonna be a tough week, and then we'll go the last game of the year. Last game of the year is gonna be that I'm gonna take. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the Titans +7 in Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's on.
They are on fire.
Right
They're
now.
10.
But Tennessee is one of those teams. They got a coach. They've got a team that is out there to crush a spirit. So if Jacksonville thinks they have any chance at making the playoffs, Tennessee is going to be the team to come out there and go, nah, baby, nah.
How come nobody took the Cowboys and the Commanders?
Because that game means 0. That's good.
The Cowboys might be playing for.
You think so?
seed.
What's the spread?
6?
6 points? No, I'm not telling you. You never know. Schmitty's still got to go over here.
That's true.
I know.
Chris, you said the Rams in that game, right? Rams and Seahawks. You picked the Rams.
Yeah.
And then you said Tennessee and
I took the Rams.
Rams Seahawks. Yeah.
What was the spread on that? No, I think I took the Seahawks.
6.5 Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks.
Okay. 6.5 Seahawks are favored.
Mhm.
6.5. All right. And then
I went to take a bite of this one. Got a little smell beforehand. I think that chemical thing smell you got was from the inside of the wrapper, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is.
I don't know.
I got a little chemi smell on that one. All right.
And then you took Tennessee in that game, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. I couldn't write fast enough. I'm going to go ahead and take that New England Buffalo game to start. I'm going New England. I'm going New England in that game.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That would be a huge game if the Bengals can pull that victory off tomorrow. And then somehow Bill Belichick can keep his mind tricks over Buffalo for that last week. All we need is 1 L out of Kansas City, and we've got the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go.
It doesn't matter what Buffalo does if we beat them.
Mm-hmm. You're right. It doesn't.
So then we just need KC to lose. That was a close one today, wasn't it? With Denver, of all teams.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was. All right.
27-24.
Yeah. Jeez, well, Pete's was it really?
Yeah.
Kansas City's in so many close games with terrible teams. It's not even funny.
I'm going to go this Cardinals-Niners game. I don't know if the Niners are going to be playing for anything next week. That's a huge.
What else you got in here to stack on?
I just got more Reese's, bro. I give you another one if you want some. You want the last one you had wasn't too bad.
It got better. I might get it up to a 9 now.
There you go. Depends on how hungry you are.
I know how bad Arizona is, but I'm going to go ahead and take them with that huge spread.
All right, let's do
13
it.
and a half.
13 and a
So
half.
what-
It's a big number.
what-
There's a lot of big victories today.
What
Yeah.
happened? I didn't see it. So obviously McSorley did really poorly last week. Unfortunately, I was really pulling for him because
Yeah.
he's Penn State.
He's a Penn State feller.
And then did they start a Blau or something today or Bluff or
Yeah, I didn't see any of it. I watched the only football I watched was while we were bowling, and it wasn't much.
that was the Commanders,
Browns, Commanders, and then Dolphins
yeah.
and
okay,
Patriots are out there. All right, so there you go.
good.
So we've got to get to the last segment. We'll try to push this through because it's getting a little late, and I know as a 50-year-old man that you are probably well past your bedtime here, pushing 12 o'clock midnight.
Listen, I've been on break for a couple of weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been staying up pretty late.
Like 10 o'clock.
No, I was up till 1 o'clock last night.
Well, I feel like New Year's Eve doesn't count. We were up 1 o'clock.
I
the
was
night
sleeping
before
by
that, too,
11
so.
last night.
Were you
Yeah.
out by 11?
I fell
I
asleep playing at
watched.
Ohio State.
I watched that one football game the other night till at least
59.
12:30. No, I watched 12:30. Yeah, I don't know who it was, but because I was dozing off while I was watching it. But I watched it.
What? Last night was New Year's Eve?
No, the other night I said.
Oh, the night before.
No, just it was the other night.
Oh, it was the other night.
Yeah.
I remember
One of the
other
nights.
night. One of the nights. All right. This week, the Mount Rushmore, Eric, is the Mount Rushmore of Larry Bird moments.
Yeah.
Lots of moments. It can be stories. It could be games. It could be anything you want it to be. All right. Adam, I went through at least 45 minutes of YouTube videos today. It's mostly 5 stories is on
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
It's like it's the bulk of it is the same 5 stories.
The lefty Bird,
The
right?
lefty game
Yeah.
where he scored 27 left-handed.
Oh yeah, it was 47 total and 27 lefty, right?
He played 3 quarters, I think,
Yeah.
left-handed. The first 3
Yeah.
quarters, something like that. And maybe it was the
and
whole
the
game,
triple
right?
double.
Triple
And
double.
was that finals in the finals? Is that what that was?
It was just a game in the regular
Oh,
season.
yeah,
It was at the end of a long road trip, and they were in Portland.
Oh, the Portland
game.
Yes,
That's
the
right.
Portland game. When he hit the left-handed 3, and he told him he was going to hit a left-handed 3.
He scored most of them on Jerome Kersey, and
The
people were making fun of
so
him.
then you have the Hawks game in New Orleans where 3 Hawks players got fined because he was so hot that they were like on the bench falling over, like cheering when he hit a fall away 3. He told somebody he was going to come across. He was going to hit a 3 and fall into the athletic trainer. He comes around, hits a 3, stumbles towards the sideline, and then the coach taps him and he falls over into the trainer. Such great stories.
That was his career high 60.
60. That was the 60 night. Yeah. Who tells that? Who's in New Orleans against Atlanta? Who apparently played multiple home games in New Orleans for a few years.
Atlanta?
Yeah. Dominique Wilkins said that he to this didn't shake his hand for 13 years.
Yep.
So
Do you think
yeah.
that was before the Dream Team? Like it took 13 years before they were on the Dream Team together before they shook
Dominique
hands?
wasn't on the
Oh, he wasn't on the Dream Team. Wow. Oh boy, that was rough. Anyway,
He was on the Dream Team too, I think.
yeah,
96.
maybe.
Pretty sure.
I feel like I've seen him in a USA uniform. Anyway, Adam, do you want to start this off? Eric, do you have anything? You don't necessarily have to make a 4 if you don't
Yeah.
want, but do you have
No.
a favorite?
no, yeah. It's a little different.
Okay.
Okay. It's a little different than what you all might be thinking, yeah, I mean the lefty game, the triple double, the follow away 3s, all that. But I gotta tell you, I really respect the way the shortness of Larry Bird's shorts.
So,
I think he had the shortest shorts there was a short era.
it was.
Not only was he good, well, one of the best, if not there for a stretch, the best. I mean, he was one of the best shooters of all time. Right?
Yeah.
So, but the shorts, to be able to play with that length of short was pretty impressive. I think that's number one. That's number one.
Number one. I'm going to tell you this. If you go back and watch highlights,
Yeah.
there are quite a few highlights where if you pay attention, they've got to blur out the bench.
No, I see. That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I mean they're hot. They're just hanging out.
I mean, that exactly.
Anyway, so that's one. All right.
That's
The
a lot
second-
of tidy
the
whities.
second
though.
one
Back then
is-
was a lot of tidy whities. You don't got to worry about that.
The second one for me, you see these really good players and they're cool. Like they
Mhm.
look cool, they dress cool, they got a cool
A
hairdo.
lot like Larry
He
Bird.
didn't have a cool hairdo.
No,
He had a really uncool hairdo.
he couldn't even pull off a full mullet. Like
No,
he did a mullet for a minute, but
I
it wasn't
said-
really a mullet.
no, and you combine it with the stash,
Uh huh.
and it was just not cool. I call it a hair don't.
A hair don't,
Yeah.
All
not
right.
a hairdo.
And
King of the dad jokes, by the way. I forgot to put that in your
Yeah.
intro. Eric Cagle, king of the dad joke.
I do have a
It
lot of
didn't say
dad
that on his
jokes.
Wikipedia.
It doesn't
Nah,
say it
'Cause
on
you obviously
Wikipedia.
looked at Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I got a lot of dad jokes. A lot of dad jokes.
Yeah.
By the way, how about Uncle Gary telling you a dad joke last night? And he tried to cut in on the punchline, and he goes, "Wait for the punchline. Wait for the punchline."
Quiet down. Quiet down. Just wait for the punchline. Okay. Sorry.
Uh,
So unfortunately for him, I couldn't stop laughing after that. So that was the punchline for me.
so the third thing is the McDonald's commercials. The McDonald's.
So what started this, Eric?
Yeah.
What started this Mount Rushmore was the one before that. No, was it two before that?
Two before that.
Two before that, we did the greatest Michael Jordan commercials.
Okay.
And both of us had the MJ, Larry Bird,
Yes.
horse
Off the-
game.
Off the window.
So 100%
Yeah.
agree with you there.
Which I think is kind of like an early Dude Perfect thing, right?
Kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, basically, yeah.
So that's three. And then the fourth one, I'm going to give a shout out to my wife, Jennifer,
Okay.
who is 5'3". All right. She played basketball. She loved basketball, and she played
Huh.
basketball when she was in high school and college. And she
What-
was a,
So you have two collegiate athletes.
yes.
Wow.
And a violinist, a guitarist in the family.
Wow.
The kids.
Pianist. He's
Yeah.
he's
So-
not just a violinist. He's a pianist. He's a
Yeah.
guitarist. He's a violinist. And then the other one is a guitarist and a lead
Drummer
singer
and
and
a
a
singer,
drummer
yeah.
and everything else.
But so my wife was a 3-point shooter. She was a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
And she modeled her game, which is really funny to me to think of this 5'3" girl modeling her shooting game after Larry Bird.
I mean, you can't
She
get a
loved-
better shot.
Yeah.
You can't get a
No,
better-
I know.
you can't
She
get a better shot.
absolutely adored. And she will my son, my youngest son, Rylan, plays basketball in 9th grade, and she always tells him about Larry Bird.
Mhm.
So those are my four. Right.
Rylan. Oh, I didn't even think about this. So his son plays freshman basketball at Altoona High School. And Ryland, 100%, if he could grow some kind of
Yeah.
stash,
Oh,
he could be Larry Bird for like Halloween or just go out there and just go. He's got the little bit of curl in the hair. It's
Right.
a light blondish color hair. He could definitely pull a Larry Bird off.
Yeah, he looks like Happy from Rudolph's Shiny New Year, Baby Happy,
Yeah.
right now. But he could look like
He
Larry
could.
Bird.
100%.
Those are my four though for Larry Bird. I mean, great player. I was a baseball fan. I wasn't keeping track of basketball as much, but those are my four.
Yeah.
For Larry Bird.
Nice.
awesome.
Adam Schmidt, what do you got?
Definitely the left-handed game. I have to put that on there. I'm gonna go with a couple. So I can't. I
It's hard.
watch.
Just start saying as many as you want.
I watch. Yeah, I mean, I could
We could
do
do this
a
forever.
6-hour podcast.
First off,
but
Kevin McHale
Yeah.
is by far the greatest Larry Bird storyteller there
did
is.
you see any Bill Walton stories?
I didn't.
He's
Bill
amazing.
Walton is just a storyteller.
Yeah, he is.
Bill Walton could take a regular Larry Bird story and make it the greatest Larry Bird.
But you're right. Kevin McHale's really good, and another great Larry Bird storyteller is Magic Johnson.
Magic
Mm.
Johnson. Danny Ainge tells some good ones, but not as good as I think as McHale. Okay, yes, you're right.
So, and there's one funny one that McHale tells that Elvin Hayes was this big, giant, scary guy in the league. And
Yes.
Larry comes out they all come out for the tip. And Larry goes, "Go ahead, Kevin, tell him tell Elvin what you told me before we came out here." And Kevin McHale's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You said you were going to," Kevin said, you told me you were going to kick his butt or something like that.
with a few more expletives.
Yeah. So
Like, no, I didn't.
yeah, that was a good one. I love when Kevin McHale tells that one.
Yes.
There are a million stories that guys tell about Larry tells them where he's going to get the ball, where he's going to shoot it, the move he's going to make, and then he does exactly that. He never tricks them. He does exactly what he says he's going to do, and nobody stops it.
He told
5 different people.
Those are great stories. Yes. The
That's
Elo
like
story.
Greg Maddox.
Yes.
100%.
I'm going to throw it right here, and you're not going to hit it.
I've told the story, the best, Greg, just real quick. I've told the story on the podcast many times. The greatest, it's probably my favorite baseball story I've ever heard told. David Justice is in the dugout before they go out to like the 5th or 6th inning. And whoever's the second batter in the inning coming up next, and Maddox walks up to him and he goes, right in front of the 320, stand 2 feet in front of the warning track. Ball's coming right to you. So Justice obviously doesn't play there, but second batter comes up. He told him it was going to be like the second pitch or something like that. Second pitch, fly ball. Justice creeps back, catches it, turns around. He's 2 feet. He's 2 feet from the warning track, right in front of the 320 or something like that. And it's like, I love that.
Yeah, that reminded me of that.
That's perfect. There are a couple. So I watched 2 hours of just interviews about Larry Bird.
Right.
There's one that I heard a long time ago that I couldn't find here, but it went. So I can't remember who told it originally, but somebody said that Larry comes out, hits the first shot of the game, runs by their bench, and it says something like 43 or something like that. And they're all like, he comes down, hits the next shot, he goes 41. Comes down, hits a 3, goes 38. And then now they realize
he's counting down.
He says he's scoring 43. He gets all the way down to 0. And that was it. That was that.
I love it. The game-winning shots. The game when when he's in the huddle, and what's his name? Who's the coach at the elder years at Boston?
Casey Jones.
Casey Jones. He draws a play up, and Larry Bird goes, "No. How about this? Just give me the ball and tell everybody else to get the hell out of the way." Yep. Sorry, that might have been after you go. Keep going.
No. So a very similar one. John Stockton tells the story that, and I used 43, and I don't think that was actually the number that I actually originally. But anyway, Stockton told the story. He said they're getting ready to come out for the jump ball, and Larry walks by their bench and says, just tells the bench, I feel like 43 tonight. And so everybody's like, yeah, okay. And so he scores his 43rd point in the 3rd quarter and checks himself out of the game, and they win by 20. I love
awesome.
that. And then so my last one, I'm going to say on the dream team. Okay. This is the end of Larry's career. For 3 years.
This is on mine.
For 3 years, he's laying on the ground instead of the bench because his back's so bad. Which is another story that I love so much. He hurt his back in the offseason blacktopping his mom's driveway himself.
Yes.
He's got $1 million in the bank. He's doing that work. I think his mom had a farm or something he bought her, or maybe it was his. He worked that farm in the off season himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't hire anybody to do that stuff. He did that stuff himself.
That makes me feel like we're right here with me and Larry Bird, because I blacktopped my driveway the day before I got my back surgery.
Wow.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe I should call him or something.
You should. You guys should talk about that.
I feel like you guys have a lot in common.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, he was a D2 athlete. You were.
So it was dream team, laying on his back every other day.
Dream team. He's in terrible shape. This is the end of his career. He comes in. They bring the story about the college players that they brought in to scrimmage the dream team, and those guys like really put it to him the first time. Right there, they win the game by 8 points or something like that. The college guys do.
Yeah.
So they go back to the hotel, and there's a group of guys standing around Larry and a couple guys, and those college guys are going through. And Rodney Rogers, one of the guys on that college team, said, "Hey, Larry, you haven't made a shot since you haven't made a shot since '84 or something like that. This is '92." So Magic hears that. The next day, Rodney Rogers is guarding Larry. He said the first like 7 or 8 times, Magic gives the ball to Larry purposely, and Larry makes the first 7 or 8 shots. And I think Chris Webber even tells the story. Every one of them, he told Rodney Rogers what move he was going to do. He scored on him every single time. And And so they call a timeout or something like that, and he goes by Rodney Rogers. He's like, just like 84, huh?
Yeah,
Something like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Those are my 4.
All right. So I was watching this one story, and I can't remember who this guy was, but he played for Cleveland. And I guess this is they come into Cleveland. It's the end of a road trip or something. It's been a rough one. And Larry comes out, and he has a good game for the first 3 quarters. He starts giving up in the third quarter. He starts giving them up or whatever. No, so it's 2 different stories. That's in Portland. That's they left Cleveland and they're flying to Portland. Scratch that. Anyway, this guy said it's in Cleveland and they're playing, and Larry comes out and he says, "Who's guarding me today? Who's guarding me today?" And the guy looks at him, and he's a rookie, and he looks at him, he goes, "Elo's got you." And he goes, "Y'all gonna put a white boy on me? For real? You're putting a white boy on me." That might be my all-time. That might be one of my all-time favorites.
He did that several times because Chuck tells the same story. He's like, when he was in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
Charles Barkley said, like Larry Bird had this real mad look on his face when the game started, and Chuck's like, "What's going on with you?" And he's like, "Man, you guys are disrespecting me." And he's like, "What are you talking about? Like, why would you put a white guy on me?"
Y'all was disrespecting me. God, so good. So anyway, I'm gonna go with so difficult. There's so many good ones. So Portland, so they fly into Portland, they get stuck. Their plane's getting delayed. They don't get there till like 1:30 in the afternoon. And he walks out and he sees who's guarding him, and I can't remember who the guy's name was. Maybe you can remember who it was, but he walks over to the guy who's guarding him and he goes, "Look, it's gonna be. I feel bad for you, but you're gonna have to be the butt of this one. You're getting an ass whooping from me today. I've been eating nothing but hot dogs in the airport for the last 16 hours. I'm coming out and putting it out, and he drops 47 on this guy. And the guy, he said, the first thing the guy says, the guy telling the story goes, he looks over at me, and goes, "What did I didn't do nothing for them hot dogs. Why's it got to be me?" Larry Bird. The shot from behind the basket is, he hit a few from like the corner, but the one where he was behind the basket, unbelievable. Obviously, we haven't even told this one is 100% on you. I'm taking 2. I'm going to do 2 of them from 3-point contests.
Yep.
Obviously, the best one is when he walks in and he tells the story. Like, you hear all these people telling the story about it, right? I was watching one video where like they would cut from person to person during the same story, and Larry's very like, everybody's just being quiet. So I don't know why I said it. Everybody's being quiet. He's an old Larry Bird now. And he's like, so I just looked around and I said, "All right, so which one of y'all playing for second today?" But in the end, he said it was real quiet. I was just trying to break the ice. Everybody's in there. And then you see, that's the one where he made like the first 12 that he took. He hit like the first 12 they were showing. So anyway, I love that. He nobody said anything afterwards. He walks out and demolishes everybody. And then 3 years later, he's got his warm-up jersey on. I love that. In the first round, he's on fire. He can't miss. And Michael, this is in Chicago, I think. And Michael, they show a clip of Michael Jordan in the back because he's in the dunk competition. Yeah. They show a clip of him. It was and they're saying, he ain't even take his warm-up. He ain't even take his warm-ups off yet. Just wait till he takes his warm-ups off yet, which he never did. He just pulled the sleeve up on it. And in the last round, he's struggling a little bit. In his last 2 racks, he needed like 12 points or something in his last 2 racks. And he's going around. He said, "I never really counted where I was at, but I could feel that I probably needed the last couple balls on the rack." And he goes, he was talking to Reggie Miller. He goes, you know what it's like when you let one go and you just know it's in. He goes, "Trust me, I know too that some of those don't go in." Yeah. And I just stuck that finger up. Boy, it could have been bad if I wouldn't have made it. He takes it. He needed the money ball. He needed the 2 at the end. As the ball leaves his hand, the original Steph Curry points the finger before it ever goes in, and then it knocks down, and he gives it the old punch with the fist pump. I'm going to go both of those.
Love that.
I'm going to go both of those. The game, the left-handed game was that was at the end of the road trip, and they had won like 8 straight games on this road trip.
They hadn't lost it. They had lost one time in like the last 2 months or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous. And he's like, "I'm going to go out and I'm going to play the first 3 quarters left-handed." And he dropped 27 points left-handed.
Because the game they were getting back was the Lakers. They were playing the Lakers when they got back, and he's like, "I'm saving my right
saving
hand."
my right hand. I love every bit of that. So I'm going to put the left-handed game number 3. And then I'm going to go with a moment now, and I'm going to go to the dream team. The very first game that they played, I don't know who they were playing, but he hit the very first shot. Magic came down on the very first play. And immediately they, because half that stuff was all mic'd up, like they had microphones everywhere during that whole run. And he's dribbling down, and he goes, "Larry!" Turns around and flips it back. Larry hits the jumper, first one. And then he's laying down, doesn't even have his shoes on. His shoes are off, and the whole place, they're up by 30 or something, and the whole place starts chanting, "Larry, Larry, Larry!" So he starts lacing his shoes up, walks over, checks himself in. Very next play, comes running down. It was kind of like a loose ball situation. And he's down in the corner, and somebody grabs it and chucks it to him. And all these people were like, "You just knew that when he was going to take his shot, he was going to get a shot at the end of that game, and it was going in."
Yeah.
And he hit it, and the whole place goes bananas.
Goosebumps.
Nice.
I know it. So those are going to be my 4. Those are my 4.
That's
moments.
awesome. You know, one thing you remind those All-Star game things, the 3-point contest ones. So the year he won in 86, 87, 88.
Yeah,
straight.
3 straight.
And so after that, he stopped. That was the last time he did it, was 88. I think the next year Craig Hodges won, and he won 3 of them, I think. Craig Hodges won, and somebody asked him after that, "Do you feel like there's an asterisk or something on this because Larry Bird wasn't in it?" And he said, "Larry knows where to find me." And so somebody went and told Larry that, and Larry goes, "Yeah, at the end of the Bulls bench." Craig Hodges was a great 3-point shooter, but never played.
Oh, that's good. That's a great Larry Bird. That's what they all say. Like, Larry Bird is a very soft-spoken, kind of a quiet guy, but he was the best trash talker. Something
My son,
he said he told Elo or something like that at the end of the game. Well, he told him exactly where he was going to shoot from and make that, and then he looked at him and he goes, "Is your mom here? I hope she got to see you. I hope she got to see you play against me."
My son is 15 and in 9th grade, and all of his friends talk about Larry Bird's trash talking.
Yes.
So like they model their trash talking
Off Larry.
Bird.
And here's the thing. So as I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't like trash talk. I don't like that stuff. But the best thing about that, and Larry Bird, I adore Larry Bird. But the best thing is, even I think it was somebody, Gary Payton or somebody, was saying like he wasn't like vulgar or disrespectful.
Yeah, that's
about
the
it.
whole thing about
You know what I mean? He just said, "I'm going to make this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this shot against you. That's what's going to happen." And he did it. And that was his trash talk.
Yeah, like Gary Payton would tell you that he's gonna, go smack your mom in the mouth.
Yeah,
or
it
something
wasn't like
that. Yeah, or then Michael Jordan
all about the
would
game.
say, "You're terrible. I'm gonna kill you." Larry was like, "Hey, I'm gonna get the ball. I'm gonna come off a curl screen or something. I'm gonna hit it right in front of you. I'm gonna put it in your eye. I'm gonna do this." Now he's just telling you that you can't guard him.
It was
Basically,
all about the game.
I'm telling you can't guard him.
Yep.
The most unathletic player
That's
I've ever
it.
seen.
That's it. That if I
He
had
couldn't
5,
jump
that
real
would probably
high.
be my number 5. The fact that he was so good at basketball, but he didn't look like he was good at
Right, and people say unathletic, athletic. I mean, he was athletic.
Oh,
He could
yeah.
dunk, he could dribble, he could pass. I mean, you can't get to where you're at without being an athlete.
It had to be also the shorts and the haircut that
But
made him
it
look
makes you
unathletic.
look 100%. I mean, look, we talk about Luka Doncic and
Jokic.
and Jokic all the time, and they just look like they're in slow motion. But doesn't mean they're not athletic. They're so basketball savvy that they don't have to be the fastest, quickest guy. They just use their body so well to put themselves in the exact right position at the exact right time to create you don't have to have a huge step back like James Harden to create your own shot. You know what I mean? Like that's what I love. And unfortunately, all 3 of those people are white guys, but I mean,
You just have to execute.
Yeah,
You have to execute.
It's 100% it.
Be consistent.
Yeah. Speaking of Eric's son, like we said, Jen was a collegiate athlete. Where'd she go to school?
She went to Blair County Christian School.
Oh, that is NIAIA.
NIAIA.
I'm not 100%
And,
sure about that, but
C. And then she went
University.
to Lancaster Bible College.
Lancaster.
Yeah.
Is that in Pennsylvania?
It's in Pennsylvania.
I
Yeah.
go to Lancaster, Ohio all the time.
Yeah, shit, Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
So, college basketball player on the mom's side, college baseball player on dad's side. Freshman year this year, I got to see a little bit of video of him really well, getting out in transition, gets to his spot. He's becoming a kind of a spot up 3 guy.
Yeah.
100% from 3 this year.
Yeah, well,
4 for 4.
and he
Really?
hustles too. You know,
Big time
saves the
hustle.
ball,
Yep.
busted his face off of a chair,
Yep.
seat, sacrificed his body. He doesn't care. He goes after the ball, and the ref called it wrong. I mean, he was off the other team, and they gave it to the other team. But
It doesn't matter. It's the hustle. I mean, you don't know, like you don't pay attention to that ball that Shaq when he slides 500 miles and saves it around the side of him when he was in Orlando. If you really look at that, that's a travel, right? Like you can't slide that far as you're diving. Plus, I'm pretty sure that part of him might have been out of bounds when he let go of it. But that's one of the coolest plays you ever seen in your life, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what happened. He busted his face on a chair while he was trying to save a ball.
nah, he just
That's
likes
energy, baby.
He
That's
just
high
loves to
energy.
play. He just loves to play.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, you can
I
go
like
0
it.
for 4 from 3. If you hustle like that, coaches are going to love
That's right.
Yes, they are.
Good defense too.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
he defends the kids that are the best players,
On the other team.
and they're like, bro, you're locking me up,
Mhm.
you know. And he's like, what do you want me to do?
That's what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
That's what I was put out here for.
Yeah.
It's a young Chris Witt is what he is. He's a young
Nice.
Chris Witt.
From St. Dominic.
The old Dominic
Yeah.
years. Yeah. The
Dominic years.
Yeah, the Dominic years.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun.
I gotta
to
teach him
watch.
in the ball. I gotta teach him the ball. That's what I gotta do. I gotta teach him the ball.
Ball.
You got it as soon as you get up in him. That's I was telling him a story yesterday when I was talking to him because he was talking to me about defense and how they'll play a boxing 1 or something like that, and he's like, you know what face guarding is? And I was like, yeah, I got you, bud. And he's, we're talking, and I said I had a kid who 4 years after I played, last time I ever played against him, 4 years afterwards, seniors in high school, and he went to another school, and we had a thing called Kairos, where it's like a thing where you go and for what was it, 3
retreat.
days? It's a retreat for 3 days.
Oh yeah.
Retreat's the word I'm looking for all the time. So anyway, I'm sitting in, we're in like a small group, having a little whatever powwow that you do in these retreats. And he goes, Chris, I'm not gonna lie to you. I hated you. I've never liked you. And I was like, he goes, that's why I've never talked to you. I was like, yeah, no. I said, I had no idea. So what did I ever do? And he goes, I've hated you ever since St. Dominic because you jump in my face and scream ball as loud as you can. And I wanted to punch you in the face. And I was
loved
like,
it.
wow.
We were like,
All right, yeah. I loved every bit of it.
What
Everybody
was the
hated
team
me.
that was red?
There's a few of them.
Red team.
There's St. Lawrence. You went to the St. Lawrence tournament. I don't know if we were
I
playing
can't
St.
remember.
Lawrence. St. Jude, St. Lawrence,
James.
St. James would have
I
been
think
red.
that was it.
St.
I think that was it. I think
Okay.
that was it. Yeah. Yeah.
St. James were a bunch of LaSalle kids, so I'm sure we beat up on them.
Yeah. Those were fun to go to.
They were,
Your
yeah.
mom was hilarious at those games.
She, my mom is something.
Get
different.
it.
She is something different at those games. She has been. Referees have tried to have literally stopped in the middle of a game.
Give your mom
and
technicals.
pulled their whistle off and
Yeah.
said, "You want to do it?" Yeah. She's never gotten a technical, but she did accept the whistle. She was like, "Yes, I do."
That's my fear. I coach 14, 15-year-old baseball.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, why don't you just tell those parents if they could do it any better? And I was like, because the problem is half of them would probably take the clipboard.
Yeah.
Half of them would take the book.
And then your kid's not
And
going
I'm
to learn
like,
how to play
no,
baseball.
no. We're not doing that.
So, God, man, we should have did a coaches podcast. So half the time, me and Adam just start talking coaching stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
when you coming back?
Yeah, I'll probably be back
6,
for the
7
Super
years.
Bowl.
Oh, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because we're not coming out there. So
No, the community center's not ready yet.
that's right. That's right. We might have to go down to Savannah for the community center. If the Eagles play the Bengals.
Tybee Island.
just
Tybee
outside
Island.
of Savannah,
Just out
right?
45 minutes. Yeah.
Little
outside.
Savannah banana action.
Yes. Oh, the Savannah bananas. How about that's a pretty cool concept.
You ever seen
that?
Banana Ball, Adam?
I've seen the highlights, the clips and stuff.
I
they
mean,
post.
when they play Banana Ball, if you hit a foul ball,
That's my favorite part.
if you hit a foul ball
And
and
a
a
fan
fan
catches
catches it,
You're out.
you're out.
That is so awesome. That is so
That's
cool.
So good.
I've never missed a foul ball ever.
really?
I've
How
never
many?
missed
How many have you had?
3.
3.
I've never missed
Never
one.
missed.
Wow.
I'm
I
one
don't
for
wanna
one
talk
as
about
well.
it.
Are
Yeah.
you one for one?
No, I'm one for. I'm kind of 1 for 2. I was walking up the steps one time, and there was a ball hit a row or 2 up from where I was, and I just kind of put my hand out and it hit a piece of my hand.
So you weren't in
there were
your
other
seat.
people.
You weren't like in your seat watching it come at you. It was totally
No,
different. That's not that doesn't
Reggie
count.
Taylor didn't hit anything to me.
Shut up. I don't talk about Reggie Taylor. Reggie
No,
Taylor. You know when the Reds signed Griffey, me and Dad
Yeah.
got season tickets
Okay.
for a few years, and we had nice seats just on the right hand side of home plate in the very first row of the second deck.
Okay.
Okay.
Good seats.
Good seats. Nice, decent foul ball
Yeah.
seats. You got to really get a hold of one, but a lefty could get it up. I'm sorry, we're on third base side. A lefty could get it up.
Lefties give better foul balls than righties.
Yeah.
in
So
my opinion.
we're on third base side. So just behind home plate, Reggie Taylor smacks the ball back up there. Dad is over getting a drink, or he's not even there. He's over somewhere else. And the ball comes up. First ever, only ever time I've ever had a foul ball hit to me. And it hits me directly in the hands. Bounces off, rolls 15 feet away to a little 12-year-old, 10-year-old kid.
Okay.
Picks it up and is super excited. I turn around. I mean, I'm a junior in high school.
Yeah.
I turn around and smack the seat so hard that I think I broke the palm of my hand. I was so mad, which doesn't matter because I would have gave the ball to the kid anyway.
You just wanted
But
to catch it. You were upset.
I missed my only opportunity at a foul ball.
My first
39 years old.
My first date.
I also missed a ball that was
I
tough
thought
to
you
me
said
too.
you were a junior in high school.
No, I'm 39
Oh.
years old. It's the only time I've ever had a foul ball.
Jeez.
And me and Adam went to 100,000 Reds games.
What
when we
was
were
the
in high school.
guy's name for the Reds? Something Ham. Winningham?
Herm Winningham?
Was he a left fielder? Would he play outfield?
Yeah, he was an outfielder for
Yeah,
the
so-
90. He was on the 90 World Series team.
Okay. So my first date that I took my wife on was a Reds Pirates game in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And I won tickets somehow. And I was going to take my brother, Matthew Pierce. Shout out to you if you're watching this, Matt Pierce.
He watches every week.
15 years younger than me, and I was going to take him, but he couldn't, school or something stupid like that. So I asked this girl out, and I'm like, hey, this is crazy, but you want to go to Pittsburgh with me and watch a baseball game? And she said, yeah, sure. So
how far is Pittsburgh from Altoona?
It's like 2 hours.
Oh, so you're spending the night.
No.
No.
Not on a first date. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Seriously.
What are we doing here? Yeah, I'm
This is
first
just-
date. Sorry. 2 hours. Long way to drive after
Yeah,
a
but it
game,
was fun.
bro.
I sang Harry Connick Jr. to her the whole time.
Oh wow, she married you, huh?
Still
It had to be you like that. So I'm in left field, and Winningham between innings, I think it was him, is throwing a ball up into the left field stands after they warm up every inning.
Yeah.
The Reds were at Three Rivers before it got demolished.
PNC, the greatest.
Right,
PNC,
so
one of my favorite.
It is awesome. So anyway, they're throwing it up. Well, I look down and this kid catches it. This little kid. I mean, he's a little kid, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9,
Sure.
something like that. And he catches it, and this other kid, it was probably Chris Witt, comes over and rips it out of his hands and runs off with it. And the little kid is crying.
Oh my God.
Crying. So the next inning, Winningham comes up, same thing, throws it up into the stands. And I always use this phrase, I got on my horse. All right. I got on my horse. I dove over 3 rows. No joke, 3 rows of seats. I run, I dive.
It would be on Sports Center now.
I catch the ball, and I'm like, yes. And I'm going to give it to this girl who I'm asking out on the first date. Or we're on the first date. And I look down and I see this little kid still whimpering. And I walk down and I give him the ball.
It's a good call.
And the whole stadium, there were 1,500.
I was going to say it went a lot.
Just went, oh. And I look up and I'm on the big screen.
Handing the ball to the
And I
kid.
look up and I was like, crap. I'm going to have to marry this girl.
Son of a gun. And from then on, she was in love. No matter how much Harry Connick Jr. you sang. Not enough Harry Connick Jr. in the world to take away giving a ball to a kid.
That's right.
It's my favorite thing to do at Xavier games. We used to be in a spot that
They give away baseball.
basketballs. They
baseballs
send
at
these
Xavier
little
games?
foam basketballs.
Oh.
But the best thing to do is you catch one and you find a little kid around. My kids have 15 of them. So that's my favorite thing to do. I always try to
like
get a
that
ball
too.
for a little kid. I always stand up and I go, all right, which little one we going to get? It's been a while since I got one.
The last Reds game I was at this year, went with a buddy of mine, and he caught a foul ball and gave it to a kid.
Got to give it to the kid.
You got to give it. Did you see the one where the kid had the ball in his glove and he caught, I forget what game it was, and he caught it. He caught a foul ball and he did the old switcheroo and he gave the girl behind him, the real pretty girl, the ball that was in his
Yeah. And she was like 12. She was like 15 years older than him too.
Yeah.
He was like a little kid.
She was all excited. She thought it was such a nice gesture.
Well done. Well done, bud.
Speaking of little kids, so you were a kid when you moved from Cincinnati to Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, I was 9. I was born in University of Cincinnati Hospital and lived here till I was 9, and then moved to Pennsylvania because that's where my mom's originally from.
Right.
Gotcha. So probably first a Reds fan.
Oh yeah, and
still,
always
still a Reds fan.
Yes.
You didn't become a Pirates fan or anything like that.
Nope.
Ugh.
Nope.
Okay. No, if anything, his second team would be the Phillies, right?
yeah.
Yeah, nice.
My
Just
grandfather.
same with football. Your second team would be the Eagles before it
Yes,
would be
It
Pittsburgh.
would be, yeah.
His mom and dad are he's got a Pittsburgh, his Jeff is a Pittsburgh guy,
Yeah.
and Betsy's a Philadelphia
Philadelphia.
Eagles.
My grandfather was a Philadelphia fan, and I don't know why, but my grandfather was a really good baseball player.
Was he in the Phillies organization?
No, he was scouted, but he chose to stay home and work
That's what
on
it
the
was.
farm for
Yeah.
his family. He was actually invited to, I don't know, try out or whatever, but that was a long time ago. And he could hit the ball, but he couldn't run. And that was something he always
He's
hated.
a big fella.
Was really big lefty.
Tall guy.
His story was they used to play baseball, for their work. He played for a team called Valley Rural Electric Company, and they had these wool uniforms.
Yeah.
And they would work, and then they would play baseball for these teams. And sometimes they would recruit people and give them jobs just so they could play baseball.
Oh yeah.
And so he did that. And he was a catcher, and he caught with no mask. And he got several teeth knocked out from that, and he had false teeth. But his funniest story was he went to catch a foul ball down the third baseline, and he ran into the third baseman and knocked him out. They dragged him to the side far enough off the field and continued playing the game, put another catcher in, and he came to, and the game's still going on out.
Wow.
And his mom said that's what he got for playing ball on Sundays.
That's what you get for playing ball
yeah.
on Sunday. Sundays for the Lord.
That's right.
Sundays for the Lord.
So yeah, I was a Reds fan always.
Your boy
Never.
told me that they took some cuts with his bat.
Oh my goodness, this was like
This dude's
what was
bat.
that one? What was the Wonder Bat or whatever?
Yeah.
This thing was like a 36.
Yeah.
It's like a huge bat.
So they pull Babe Ruth's bat out. They used to do it during the Cooperstown game when they would play that game in Cooperstown.
Yeah.
And they'd pull it out and give it to guys just to let them take it. And
Yeah.
like, every one of them, geez,
We have one of those
38
hurricane.
ounce monster, 42 ounce giant bat.
We have one of those hurricane, things that you hit and it
Yeah.
has the cables and brings it back.
Yep.
And that's a workout. I just do that to exercise.
I would do that to exercise. That's a monster bat.
So I've never been anything but a Reds fan and never anything but a Bengals fan. All those years, I had Bengals jackets that I wore to school. Oh, and all the years they were bad.
Yeah.
And I always say I can't accuse me of being a fair weather fan.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, there's no doubt
in
about it.
Pennsylvania.
And he came into town for the Super Bowl last year.
I did. I said that. Remember, I said
Mhm.
we were in town in December, and I
Yep.
said if the
Couple weeks ago.
Bengals make it to the Super Bowl, I'm coming back. And we did.
Yep.
Very nice. I love that. We have family out in California who grew up here, and 2 uncles on our mom's side, and they're Reds fans, Bengals fans.
Yeah.
They've been out there 30 years,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
35 years.
Yep.
And they're still to this day Reds, Bengals.
Yep.
My one uncle went to UC.
And,
Well,
his,
and I
and
got
their
my
kids.
kids.
That's the thing. Is
Yeah.
Their kids are like
Yeah.
Tyler's got did his own podcast for a while, and he's big TikTok superstar.
Yeah.
That's probably my most famous contact. But he's a huge Reds fan and
Wow.
Bengals fan.
That's awesome.
And he's 23 years
All
old.
my boys are Reds and Bengals fans
Yeah.
too,
Excellent.
living in Pennsylvania. By the way, Hayden Hurst is back tomorrow. Did you know that?
That's big time.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
big time. That's going to be huge. Awuzie is out for the year, but is Lau Collins? Is he okay?
He's out.
He is out.
He's out.
Okay. Done for the year.
What ended up happening with Uzama? What kind of year did he have?
Oh, I just
For
saw
the
he just
Jets? Was
yeah,
it the Jets?
Yeah, I don't know.
they just played a game. He's like he's their hype guy. So
Yeah.
like they were showing before a game, right in the tunnel before they started announcing. Uzama was the one who was hyping everybody up in the tunnel.
Did he
So he must
have
be
the
doing
boombox
something.
like the San
Yeah,
Francisco
like
49ers guy?
That's good. That's Debo, right? Doesn't Debo
Oh my
walk around?
gosh. No, they have a guy.
Oh,
They have an
a guy.
actual guy that
Oh,
does it.
geez.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so what else you got going on? What do you have going on in your life that the people need to know about? You got a tweet box that they can follow you on? Oh, we
Wow.
already talked about the tweet box. You don't do the tweet box.
I do. I have
Anyone.
a Twitter face. Is that what it's called?
I call it tweet boxing, but
Tweeter
Tweeter and the
Gram?
monkey man.
I got
Two-Face. You got
I got
Face, the chat snap, the Insta
I got
snap.
a Twitter. I'd really like to get. I've got like 13 followers on the Twitters.
All right, so what's your
And,
what's your tweet box? What's the
Let's
handle on the
see.
tweet
The
box?
Twitter. I think it's Cagle1, which is
I-
ECAGLE1.
Like Cagle wings.
Yeah, let me make sure that's what it is.
I just want to tell you, be careful, because by throwing that
It
out
is
on this
at
podcast, if
EK.
you're not ready
Yeah.
for the comments that are going to come at you now, and
Mm-hmm.
for you may be able to get a blue check mark for as many subscribers. As
They don't do
oh,
that
you can pay
anymore.
for it. I could be a blue check mark now, can't I?
They don't even
$8
do that
a
anymore.
month. $8 a
Listen,
month.
My last tweet. You want to know what my last tweet was?
I hope it's a dad joke.
It was a retweet. Oh,
No,
I said, listen to this. 3/19/22, March 19th was
All
my
right.
last actual tweet.
So he's
I said,
real.
It's a true proud papa moment when your boy texts you excited about an offensive lineman free agent signing. Got the text below from my boy last night, and he said, "Pa, we signed Alex Kappa. He's an O lineman."
Yeah, buddy. Let's go.
So at CAGLE1.
a big reason why Tom Brady struggled a lot this year,
Because Kappa was gone. Yeah.
100%. His offensive
Yeah.
line was decimated.
Oops.
Big time right there. I love it. I love every bit of it. So good luck to the Altoona.
Curve,
The Altoona. What's the Altoona High School?
Mountain Lions.
The Altoona Mountain Lions. Good luck to them. Good luck to what's your 14, 15-year-old team called?
Bavarian
Oh,
Hall.
he's not playing anymore.
No, he is. He
He
plays
is,
this
okay.
year. Bavarian Hall. This is our last chance to make a run. I'm retiring from coaching after
That's
this.
it. It's the end of it.
I've been coaching.
So this is
16 years.
14, 15-year-olds?
This is 14, 15. Yeah.
Buddy, I'm telling you what, all I've ever heard is careful. Once you get up to that age,
Well,
all these
I did
people
it
get a
last
little
year.
nutty.
I decided I'm not going to coach kids that can drive to practice.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to drive to practice. I know what kids drive to practice. Can I tell you one last story before
I
we
love
go?
it. I hope it
course.
has to do with that
One
old
last
Ford
story.
Focus or the neon, the Dodge
I
neon.
So when I was 20, or maybe it was 22 years old, I had graduated from college from Shippensburg. I got a
Shippensburg.
job at New Pig Corporation.
Woo!
New Pig absorbents for manufacturing facilities,
Yep.
that kind of thing. And I was my first job out of college. I was still playing Huntington City League.
Yeah.
And I was a player manager for a team called the VFW. Well, there's a lot of VFWs around, right? But this was
100%, yep.
Huntington VFW. And all my kids were like 17, 18-year-olds on the team. This was like the high school summer league team, and played in a city league, which was all other adults. But I was player manager. So that was when this would have been in 1994. No, I'm sorry,
Later than that.
1995. 1995. Okay. Summer of 1995. I know, wasn't born yet, right?
No, I was saying it was gonna be later because you worked for New Pig when you
1995.
came to Cincinnati.
So I had bag phones had just come out for cars.
Yes.
So I had a bag phone, and you plugged it into your lighter. But if you left it in long enough, it would actually hold the charge, so you could take it off and use it, without being plugged in somewhere.
Like a mobile.
Like a mobile phone. So I would plug it in. I charged it in the car. I was always calling players because we were forfeiting all the time because these kids were bailing on me left
Yeah.
and right. Well, I finally got enough players. I took my bag phone to the bench because I'm like, well, if a kid calls me and needs to, and I'm going to get another kid. I'm constantly calling.
Yeah.
So I have my bag phone there. I finally, game started. I got myself in the leadoff spot because
Naturally.
I'm in the leadoff
Good
spot.
man.
I mean, Pete Rose was a player manager.
Yeah.
Where did he
I
hit?
was leadoff.
Leadoff.
Right. I was the best, the fastest, and all that.
Yeah, I mean, you're a D2
Right.
athlete, and these guys are just high schoolers.
Right. So I'm batting and my phone rings. My mobile bag phone rings. And the umpire has no clue what's going on. He's like, time. And he's like, what? And I step out and this kid goes, hey, Cagle, your phone's ringing. Now you got to remember, this is really not
There were no
common.
mobile
This
phones.
is not people were like, what kind of witchcraft is this? Because there's no idea. And I said, well, answer it. And to answer the phone, you had to like push a button and pull up on it, and it had the little squiggly thing. And he goes, hello? He goes, hold on. He goes, it's your mom. And I said, well, tell her I'm up to bat. And he goes, he's up to bat. Can he call you later? And she was like, oh my gosh, yeah. And he hung up. And I got a single and stole second base.
Hey.
Doesn't surprise me. Speaking of stealing second base, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
In your career, long career, obviously you were a base stealer.
Yeah.
How many times did you steal home?
Oh, maybe twice. Oh,
Man, it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not 3 though.
It's not. I've got I
I've
have
never-
a
I
plaque.
didn't
I have a
steal a lot.
plaque from my sophomore junior year in high school. My summer ball team coach, that he would not allow our assistant coach to give out an MVP.
Yeah.
So he made a plaque for me, called me up, and he goes, hey, I got something for you. And go get this little plaque. And it says, to a special player for stealing home 3 times in a single season.
Wow. Holy cow.
I used to call, you got to understand, this league was
Yeah.
pretty bad. But there was many times where either I'd be on third by myself and the pitcher would just go into the full windup, and then I'd turn around and I'd look at the third base coach and say, give him the take sign. And then I just take off on my own. I just took off on my own.
Did
I
you
said,
time it so that like when the catcher's throwing it back to the pitcher?
oh no,
or you
I
were in the
went, he's
windup?
in the full windup.
Okay.
I did it either with bases loaded or when I was on third, and
I
he'd go in a full
twice.
windup. And as soon as I'm walking, I'd get a walking lead because by that point they're not looking at. And I stole home 3 times in the same season.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Not
really-
quite D2
but-
athlete stealing bases. This was not whole baseball in Cincinnati for 15 and 16-year-olds, but
It's still cool. It's still good.
Adam was at a game I stole him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you like, what's he doing?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. That was a million years ago.
It was a million years ago. You know why? Because we're old.
I know.
It was over 20 years.
Bruce
ago.
Springsteen
It's
has a
over
song
20
called
years.
Glory Days.
Yeah.
And when that came out when I was young, and I was like, man, I'm never going to be like that. And here I am on the
Mhm.
Chris and Adam podcast talking about the Glory Days.
Not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Yeah.
Adam, we got to pick maybe you can help us out.
Okay.
We'll tell you if we've had one or not. We've done Mount Rushmores now for about 2.5 years, and we're running. It's getting tough to
Yeah.
figure out topics.
Okay.
So
Shoes untied.
can you think of a Mount Rushmore? It could be anything. We've done Mount Rushmore. We've done the Mount Rushmore of bottled water. We've
Oh,
done the
really?
Mount Rushmore of just about anything. You name it.
Okay, I got one. Tell me if you did it.
Okay.
Sunflower seed flavors.
Oh,
We have not.
And that is right up your alley. now.
Right up. I've got a twist on mine. I've got a new favorite that I don't go without.
Say it
How
now.
new?
It's one of the newest ones. It's out of the bigs, out of the new big stuff. The bigs keeps
Oh,
coming out with a
Bigs.
lot of these different flavors. But it's out of that. It's been around for a couple years, but I'm going to tell you, for a billion years, it was David's Ranch.
Ranch.
And then it flipped over to the Lay's Ranch.
never had
a little
Lay's
less
before.
salt. Lay's became it's that skinny bag.
Yeah.
The blue or green's regular, blue is ranch, and brown is barbecue. But they became the official sunflower seed of Major League Baseball
Oh, okay.
about 7-8 years ago. I started flipping over to that. It's a little more ranch powder, not as much ranch salt, right? It
Okay,
wasn't as salty,
okay.
so I was really digging them. but I now officially, so I'm on the road. I drive like 45 to 50,000 miles a year. I'm on the road a lot.
Yeah.
I have 1 to 2 full bags of big sunflower seeds every day.
Every day.
Every day.
You've got
That's
the
not bad.
strongest jaw in the world.
It's
I
probably-
have more sodium in my body right now than you've ever intaked in your life.
Well, you probably don't get headaches because nuts are good for headaches.
I do not get headaches.
Seriously.
I didn't know that.
I mean,
I've never gotten
that's a
headaches.
nut, isn't it? I mean, even though it's called
Yeah,
a seed,
100%. Or is it a
sunflower
legume?
seed,
Is it a legume?
a legume.
Or is it a
that
nut?
comes from the French
Is it?
legumes?
Is it legume?
Leg.
Is
Leg.
legume?
What is it
Is
French
that
for?
French for
Seed?
nut?
No, that's vegetables.
Oh, a legume. It's not vegetables. I took French for at least a year.
Look it up.
Yeah,
I honestly don't know. So
Je ne sais pas.
je ne sais pas. Je m'appelle Christophe.
That's one idea. I can throw out to.
All right, so
Sunflower seed.
I'm in. That's 100%. That's it. We've never done this.
I'm gonna have to do some research, but I'm gonna be stopping at the store and getting some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could actually like test. Do taste test.
We've got a week. I'm gonna do it.
You could do length of like the taste, how long the taste lasts.
Yeah.
The tanginess, like all kind of different stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
I'm in for it.
I'm coming into a realization that my addiction to sunflower seeds is based off my addiction to salt. I get in my car, I get out of my car,
Oh, you
anything.
said you like salt.
I am like, I crave, and it's like the second that it hits my mouth, it's like, it's so good.
That's pretty bad for you, probably.
My blood pressure's fine.
Good.
Yeah, I never had a blood pressure issue.
So Eric, while you're coaching, maybe during games, are you a seed guy during that? You have a habit or anything during games, or?
I take my hat off a lot.
Okay.
So I'm a seed guy. They banned seeds during COVID.
They did. Yep.
And I don't think we picked them back up. I think they banned them last year because we have this really kind of, I don't know, the league is pretty strict. And so they're like, no seeds in the dugouts. That we figured out during COVID, it was great not having seeds. So now there's no seeds in the dugout. So,
right.
So I don't chew gum or anything, big league chew or anything like that. So I take my hat off a lot. And one year I made my sign for the steal, take my hat off. I was like,
It's nice.
I was
So
like,
you
all
run
right.
through all your signs
I
and
do
then
all
just turn around and
this.
take your hat off.
I would go like this. I'd take it off and then I'd go like this. And then the kid takes off for second base. And I was like, what are you doing?
Oh,
And I'm
you're
like,
talking like he went immediately?
yeah. As soon
was
as I
gonna be my
was done
question.
doing all this stuff, then I take my hat off and I was like, oh no. But the kids never look anyway. They never look over for signs.
At your age,
Really?
still?
Yeah, it's terrible.
We just
Wow.
started giving signs so we could just steal like a year or two ago. And I can't take it. I tell the kids, take a step out of the box every pitch.
I
Take a step
can't.
out and look at me.
It's like, I don't know. They just can't do it. I've started, I threatened last year and I think I'm going to follow through with it this year, taking pitches. I told my kids the next time that you take a called third strike, you're going up to the plate with no bat next to the bat. If
Ooh.
you're not going to swing it, why take it?
Right.
with you?
So that's going a little overboard. But I'll tell you another. I mean, to walk up to the plate with no bat.
Why not?
So here's what
You're not
we
going to
had.
use it.
We had a coach who he said if you took the third strike,
Yeah.
you got pulled. Don't take the third
Okay,
strike.
all
You
right.
got pulled.
What if it's a bad call?
I don't know. I was 4th, 5th grade. I mean, I really, if it was a bad call, I don't know. I think if it's a bad call, it had to be close enough to swing. Basically, you got 2 strikes, get up there and hack.
Yeah.
You're 9, 10, 11 years old. Go swing. So it's one of the first tryout baseball teams, select baseball teams I ever played for. So I struck out to end the game.
Looking. Oh
I
my.
struck out to end the game looking. And I can't control myself. I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm
Yeah.
in tears. And my dad's like, it's no big deal, man. Just try, like, I get it, but like, what's wrong with you? And I said, I'm not going to be able to play the entire next game. I thought I would be pulled for the entire next
Yeah.
game. I was in tears because I didn't think I was going to be able to play. So he had to go over and talk to the coach and make sure that I
Wow.
could play in the next game. Yeah. But no, so I can't stand that. My big thing though is I hate when I am giving a take sign or a bunt sign or something. And sometimes I'm going through the signs and I don't have my runner on first isn't looking at me.
Yeah.
The batter's not looking at me. And I just throw my hands in the air and turn and walk. What's the point of me even being here? I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. It's tough. And I don't know. They just forget. There are certain kids too that they never do it.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Wow. Yeah.
Ever.
And that's probably the same kid that when he gets on first takes about a 6.5 inch lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's usually who those kids are.
I'm going to try something different this year, though. I'm going to tell them when we first get together that my expectation is a championship.
You guys haven't got together yet? We've been practicing for a month, bro. We've been hitting 2 days a week for a month.
So I have.
It's not a joke. But
I know.
I gave them last week and this week off because it's Christmas and New Year's.
I have 5 returning players. So we have 14 and 15. The 15-year-olds have moved on, and I have 5 returning players because one is not going to play next year. So I only have 5, and 2 of them are twins. Actually.
I got twins on my team.
But they don't look anything. They're identical twins, but then when they became older, they're not identical anymore.
That's insane.
It's not
that's
that
one of
not
those
identical.
genos, one of those geno things.
One got a little heavy and started lifting weights, and the other one started wearing his hair down over his face and got skinny.
What is that whole hair over the face? I got a kid on the team whose hair will get so long in the front.
Yeah,
he'll put a helmet on, and his hair during the at bat will slip out the bottom of the helmet, and he's like this at the plate.
Yeah,
great hitter, good kid. I'm getting you a skull cap. You see all these, not even a full skull cap. A lot of these major league teams now have these like half wraps that go to here. So they like come up to here and then tie in the back. So if you got dreads or a ponytail or whatever, you can still do it. With team names and everything on it. I'm about to have Aaron make up some
I like that
baseball ones and put them all on these kids because that gets on my last nerve.
Yeah.
You should not be playing with your hair while you're on the field.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're Bavarian Hall.
Bavarian Hall.
It's a club in Altoona, and they have bowling alley downstairs, and they have a meeting place upstairs.
So is that like the go-to afterwards?
No, the place upstairs is for like big events, like cash parties and dinners. Like I was the chairman of the rec commission in Altoona for a while.
How do you have time for anything?
Well, I retired from that. So.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we had dinners up there. So Bavarian Hall, we're setting out to have a better year this year.
I'm excited for you guys. Yeah. I'm excited. I tried to get him to go hit. I said
he wants to shoot basketball.
I know. I said he was talking about it, and he said, I swing a 32, drop 3, and I'm like, and he said he's in a wood bat league. Is that a wood bat league? So I only have 2 keys on a key ring. It's key to the little garage where we got a couple nets, and a couple hittings, and my truck key. And I was like, bro, it's Friday night. I gave the kids off, but the place is I still have it. You want to go? And he looked at me and he's like, and I was like, I'm kidding, man. I'm not going to make you get up and go hit right now. He would. Although I would have done it and I should have told him they got 3 hoops inside that place.
I would have been on that like a pack of dogs on a 3-legged cat.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, we have basketball season right now. A pack of dogs on a 3-legged cat. Let's go. We have basketball season right now, and when baseball practice comes on a Tuesday, like all these other coaches are, man, come on, it's a little much, right? And I'm like, you know what? I get it. But when I get in that cage or I get inside that indoor facility, I just take a big deep breath and it just feels like I'm home.
I read The Science of Hitting one year by Ted Williams.
Joey Votto keeps that in his locker.
My stance was like so relaxed like this, I just stood there. And I remember going to the cages in Delhi. And I was standing there and everybody's like, what are you doing? And then I was like, boom, explode on the ball.
Yep.
So I love that too. I used to go to the cages over behind Ron's Roost, which is where Pete Rose went.
Yep.
Right.
Oh. Yeah. That's been gone for a long time, but
now it's a Walgreens. That's where I went.
Yeah.
That's that's the first batting cage I ever went to.
Yeah. Nice. So Funky Dunks, 2 stories about Funky Dunks batting cages. One involves Erik, one does not. We'll do the Erik story first. I, to this day, tell my kids 2 things that you told me at Funky Dunk's batting cage. Number 1, get up there, man, get loose. Shake your butt a little bit. Get up there, shake your booty. So I get these kids get all tense up at the plate, and I'm like, hey, take it easy, baby. Shake it out a little bit. Give me a little shaky shake. Give me a little shaky shake. I use that constantly throughout the game. And when we're working on hitting, I tell him, hey, I said, a college coach once told me, well, really a college coach once told my cousin who once told me, it's like you're spearing a fish, right? Not about you're coming down at the ball. It's like there's a fish down there and you got a spear in your hand. And then boom, let the bat follow through. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
You used to say spear the fish. I tell kids spear the fish all the time.
It's all about hands.
Yeah. That, and then second story from Funky Dunks. I was in Funky Dunks and fouled a ball straight down and it came up and broke my nose, busted my nose. And I had white batting gloves that turned brown. And my dad's like running around Funky Dunks trying to figure out somebody, like balls are still flying by. he's trying to get me out of the cage. And I'm like, hands like this, busted nose, blood everywhere, all over the place. And all these little kids worked at this place.
Oh yeah.
And they were all freaked out, didn't know what to do. So he had to run to the bathroom, get stuff for me, put it. Broke my nose. Joey was supposed to spend the night. Cousin Joey was supposed to spend the night that night. Right. That was the first time my mom ever looked at me and said, you could get a free nose job because that happened to you.
Wow.
I was like, well, this is what everybody knows me for. If it's just a little more crooked with a bigger hump, everybody knows me for. Yeah, so
you should ask your dad about time I made his nose bleed. You know that? Down at McHenry, we were throwing in the backyard.
Yeah.
And I fired a ball at him. We were doing the old
the back of the glove.
No, we weren't doing that. We were doing the old catch and swipe. Stealing second. Yep. And he swiped before he caught. And I hit him square in the nose, and the blood just started coming out.
Gosh, I've never heard that story.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah. And if he missed the ball rolled way down the hill because there was a sled ride in the hill.
Yep. Down there. Oh man, that's a bad one. So he got busted in the nose, then had to go get it.
Yeah, well,
I would have made him go get it. I wouldn't have gone because you know how many times when I was a kid I had to go get a ball if I threw it over the fence or somewhere.
Yeah.
I had to go get it. Hit me in the chest. Well, it's a hill. We're throwing on a hill. It's not easy to do.
All right, I got a question for you guys. By the way, sorry, I did it again. I always was. You know how people say not to change the subject.
Well, they're trying to change the subject,
but they're trying to change the subject.
Yeah, it's just like
I always say. I'm changing the subject.
That's perfect.
That's what I do.
I like that honesty.
Yeah, it's like when you say, I don't mean any.
My dad would chase the ball down. I'm changing the subject.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
no disrespect.
Who do you think is going to win the national championship in college football? TCU or Georgia?
This is easy. I haven't seen it if it did, but I'm sure it has. I'm sure it came out.
It's probably minus 13.5.
It's gonna
Georgia by 13.5.
I mean, let's see here. We can figure it out pretty quick here. NC.
I was a little surprised.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Bowls. And we're going to scroll down until we find. So what we do here is there's a lot of games in here. There's still some games that haven't happened, like Penn State and Utah. They play tomorrow at 5:00. It's all for Monday.
Is the date up there?
Yeah, it just goes to the All-Star then. Yeah. I don't have it on here right now. But I'm sure if I go to something, maybe if I go to the SEC and just look up something in here. Anyway, so we can probably find it. I'm sure it's somewhere. I don't have it. It's gonna be a lot. I'm going Georgia. I think it's an easy one. Adam Schmidt.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be the favorite for sure. I'll probably root for TCU though, just for fun. Because since I don't really, I was kind of hoping to see Michigan, Ohio State.
Oh, did you go to the ESPN app to see if you could find it on the same thing I was just looking at? Did you not believe me?
No, I wanted to see what the spread of the Penn State game is.
You missed that.
Oh, by the way, it is on the ESPN app, and
it's at the very bottom. I didn't
Georgia
go
by. Okay, all right. I knew he didn't go to the bottom, so I was looking for it at the bottom. But I was trying to do it discreetly so I didn't hurt your feelings.
Saw the whole thing. No, feelings are 100% hurt. It's just like when you weren't trying not to change the subject.
I'm 50.
Not to hurt your feelings.
I have 11 years of experience on you, and I know to scroll the whole way to the bottom.
That's right.
And it's Georgia minus 13.
You were exactly right. Was that you that said?
I said 13.
You said 13. There you go. All right, so. Adam, do you have any more questions for the Cagle man? Cagle bro?
I'm gonna have to think of some and save some up for next time.
All right, that sounds good.
Well,
That
thanks,
sounds good.
guys. It
Yeah,
was super
thanks for
fun.
coming
Yeah.
on,
I'm
man.
sorry that
Thanks for
I
coming on.
derailed us
Fun.
a lot of conversation.
That's
No,
the whole
bad.
point. You should hear
You
the.
changed the subject a lot.
Obviously, you don't listen to the
I've changed the
podcast very
subject.
often because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all we do is
That's
get
all we
derailed.
Yeah.
We go off the rails
like,
constantly.
who would watch this?
Well, I don't know.
I mean,
There's at least 50,000 people a week that watch.
is there valuable information coming out of
it.
this?
100% hot takes, man.
Okay, good.
Hot takes.
What's the hottest take you've ever had
The hottest take I've ever
on
had
this podcast?
that the Cincinnati Bengals were going to win the Super Bowl 3 years ago.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Did you say that?
I'm sure I did.
Okay. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you always are very optimistic. I don't know. Have I?
Adam's hottest take would be this. This is Adam's hottest take. I think that the New York Yankees are going to be really good. I just don't know how good they're going to be, but I think they're going to be pretty good. That
was the
that's
hottest
as
take.
hot-
I don't commit to anything.
I
Adam is
remember
the
watching
least
this a
committed
couple
person.
years ago, and the Reds actually were at the All-Star break. They were like sub 500, and your hot take was they were gonna come back and make the playoffs or something.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
And it didn't happen that way.
it doesn't usually. I'm a little too optimistic for my hometown people, man. It doesn't.
I think they
happen very
need
often.
to change their uniforms. They need to.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they need to change in uniform.
Go back. They got to. Then they got
don't
to
know if
just
they need
go
to go
back to the
back.
90,
I
the
don't
same
know.
uniform they wore from like
I don't know,
70
I just
to
think it needs
90.
a little bit of a change up.
Yeah. What would you do?
Pun intended. I don't like. I think the vests. Like
You like those?
no. I would get rid of. I wouldn't go back to
Yeah,
those.
I hate that.
Just
I've got. That's what sucks. I've got a Dimitri Young,
Yeah.
like the gray away vest from
Beautiful.
the early 2000s, the meat hook.
Yeah.
I would never wear that anywhere though because it was like a vest. Why would
Maybe
I
the
wear this?
80s, the Davy Concepcion.
Okay,
you
the
know,
white.
like-
That's still the white 90
Yeah.
uniform.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That was good. I picked up a away and a home jersey when in Cooperstown when we went one year. and
Nice.
That was really cool.
I've got a Barry Larkin World Series with the World Series patch jersey.
Okay.
It's probably my favorite. I won it at a diaper party.
I'm gonna change the subject.
It's
A
biased.
diaper party. I'm gonna change the subject. Do you ever talk about hockey on this show?
Yeah, all the
Do
time.
you?
Yeah, we talk about Roman Milosevic and what was the other guy we were talking about the other day? Just talking about him the other day.
I love
Jeremy
Chin.
Rognick.
Right.
Rognick.
Okay, well
Rognick.
that's pretty obvious. What about Major League Soccer?
Yes, major
Mhm.
MLS gets talked about on here. We actually have had a guest
Are you serious?
on the show to talk Major League Soccer. We actually just talked World Cup
You
because
should
I was talking
have-
about how much I actually enjoyed watching the World Cup.
the World Cup was fun. I watched Mbappe in the last.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of those. As soon as the United States were out, I stopped.
No, I watched the final. I mean, that's pretty casual.
I watched the end of.
He
the
watched
end of
the best
final.
part of
That's the
final.
only.
The
the
last
penalty,
15
penalty
minutes.
kicks. Did you
Yeah.
watch
The last
prior to the
couple
penalty
minutes,
kicks?
yep.
Yep.
Yeah, they
that
scored
was
like
great.
3 goals in 15 minutes
I
before
know, it
penalty
was crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know where I was going. with
What
that,
else-
but
what
what's
else are you
Cincinnati?
into?
Cincinnati, they have a soccer team, right?
Yeah, we've got the
That's pretty good.
Cincinnati
Major League Soccer.
FC
yeah,
Cincinnati.
FC Cincinnati. Yeah. Football Company Cincinnati. What is it? What is it?
Football company.
Football
club.
Yeah.
Football club.
Football.
Football. What about cornhole? You ever talk about cornhole on the show?
Just the fact that I still hold the 10U tag team
I was gonna-
baseball dads championship
Oh,
belts.
really?
Yeah, I got my
Seriously?
I got my
was
belt
gonna
upstairs.
enter
If you
in
want to
this
see it.
contest at the Outer Banks this year, but it was $15. And we needed to get some pizza for that night. I didn't have it.
But you could have used it and got pizza for the week.
I don't know.
One pizza
Well,
for the
yeah.
week.
Did you place any bets yet on the sports
No.
bet?
Nope. I might try it out though. I
I know
I don't.
somebody who
never
placed their
bet.
first bet and won.
I know somebody who placed their first 2 bets and won both of them.
Did you
Probably
know,
the same guy.
Do you know who placed the first bet?
Pete Rose. Do you
Yeah.
know what he bet on?
Cincinnati Reds.
To win the World Series.
Yes.
How ridiculous is that? What a sham. Guy's become such a sham.
Well,
I love
I-
Pete for who Pete is. I get it.
do you know what
But that's-
pizza shop he made his bets in? He made all his bets
Was
in a
it
pizza
Scarlato's
shop in
or-
Franklin,
Oh,
up above Middletown.
yeah.
And I used to sell to that company, to that place. And they had,
Really?
yeah.
What was the pizza place up there? I go to a yard out there.
I don't know.
Gross Lumber out
It's
there.
called like, some Italian name. I don't know.
Gotcha. I'm gonna have to
Pizza.
ask the old boys out there at the lumberyard.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So Mount Rushmore for next week is going to be the Mount Rushmore sunflower seed flavors. I can't believe we've never done this. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
putting a fresh take on the Mount Rushmore here. And then we still have the comedy segment that we'll do because we're not doing comedy right now. Yeah. No. On that note, Mr. Cagle, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
out.
thank
brother.
you guys.
Thanks for
I
coming
know
on
I
the
already
show.
shook your hand once.
Yeah, it's the first college athlete we've had on the show, so that's pretty
Yeah.
pretty
There you
special.
go.
Yeah, and 5 away from being the head of Pennsylvania
Yeah.
State University.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean he's basically in charge of Penn State. On that note, thank you very much, and don't forget to turn your headlights on.
All right.
This wasn't all the way in. It was like that.
Did you not get any of it?
Oh no, I hope it works.